and draft the church back into the battle that she was drafted into from the beginning.
I'll be back with more Alabama stories after this.
Some of the greatest blessings is just having people that care about you, to have someone that's just going to love you and make you feel important. They encourage you to be in church. They encourage you to be in prayer. They encourage you to be in your Bible. Now it's a part of my day every day. My house parents planted seeds in me that you can see where those seeds have sprouted in my life and helped change my life.
Big Oak Ranch, a Christian home for children needing a chance.
2 people were arrested in the city of Mobile after a drug raid resulted in a massive drug seizure. 24-year-old Travion Goff and 22-year-old Tenya Knight were found in possession of 90 pounds of marijuana, $5,000 in cash, and almost a dozen firearms. The two have a bond hearing this Friday. A new district attorney has been sworn into office this week. Angie Hamilton is the first ever female district attorney for Lauderdale County. Hamilton was appointed to that position by Governor Ivey. Hamilton has been working in the DA's office since May of 2006 as the chief assistant DA. I'm Andrea Tice.
For more news affecting Alabamians, go to 1819news.com. And while you're there, subscribe to the daily newsletter.
Welcome to Eclectic Coins, Montgomery's largest coin dealer, specializing in buying and selling investment-grade gold and silver coins. And they have a large selection of rare coins and coins from around the world. Visit them at 543 Northeastern Boulevard or on the web at eclecticcoins.com. Eclectic Coins, where collectors who know go.
Yes?
Yeah, I'm Bill. You called about some breakers tripping?
Oh, yes, Bill. My brother-in-law says you can do almost anything.
That's me. Not much I hadn't seen.
Do you really want someone who does almost anything in your electric box? Think about that, because each year thousands of home fires are caused by faulty wiring. That's why you want a professional, like the electricians at Crosby Electric.
Bill, how's it going? Bill, ooh, are you okay?
Oh, yeah, well, I didn't really need my eyebrows anyway.
At Crosby Electric, all technicians undergo rigorous safety training, as well as background checks, drug testing, and continuing education.
Bill, you think maybe I should call a real electrician?
No, these little slip-ups happen. Everybody does it.
Really?
No, not really. When you need professional electric work, or you just like someone to assess your home for safety, call the experts at Crosby Electric, 272-2085, or visit us at crosbyelectric.com.
The views and opinions of the following program are solely those of the host and other contributors. These do not necessarily represent those of Liberty Acquisitions 825, Blue Water Broadcasting, its management, staff, or any advertisers. It's time for Montgomery's conversational radio show. It's News and Views on News Talk 93.1 FM. To join the conversation, call 272-9228.
Joey Clark.
Welcome into the program, folks. On what is turning out to be a lovely Friday after the storm clouds ran through. Of course, the Supreme Court of the United States shot down Donald John Trump's tariffs. There's a lot of different angles to that decision, and we will get into the Supreme Court striking down those tariffs, as well as Trump saying he's going to release the alien files. And we will definitely get into that. Maybe have to call on Lou Elizondo in the next coming weeks if that actually comes to pass. But today I wanted to start with something different. A gentleman named Matt Schultz, reached out to me and wanted to tell me about a particular case of a man on death row. And Matt joins us now. Sir, how are you today?
Well, I could be better, of course, as you can imagine. I have a client who did not kill anyone, and this is not just my version of events, this is the state's version of events, but I have a client who did not kill anyone who is scheduled to be executed 3 weeks from yesterday. Nonetheless, his hopes are very high. We believe that we don't just believe that this is a quintessential case for clemency. It is a bizarre case that has slipped through the cracks, and in situations like this, governors from other states, including very pro-death penalty governors of very pro-death penalty states, have issued commutations realizing that if an execution like this is allowed to go forward, it undermines the validity of the judicial system. This is simply not the worst of the worst type of crime, and I'd be happy to walk you through what happened and his level of participation, which was quite minor, but not that he does not take responsibility for his role.
No, and as I read through the brief that I believe you sent to Governor Ivey's office, I tend to agree with your argument. If I was in that chair, that's quite a weighty decision. I would provide the commutation. And I don't say that as somebody who is against the death penalty in principle, and I might even agree with, say, the Holy Father and the last three on the prudential judgment of it's not even necessary for the worst of the worst. I think there are cases where you do certain acts, certain crimes, your life is forfeit, and of course everything following from that with due process and has to be proven and whatnot. But as I read this case, I thought I would not put this man to death, but I think just for the audience, it would be wise to start with that day in 91, the crime itself.
Sure, absolutely. And we're not hiding, again, and Mr. Burton is not hiding that he did participate in a robbery on that day. In 1991, he and 5 other men went in to rob an AutoZone store. And a completely innocent man named Doug Battle, who did nothing more than simply stop in to shop at an AutoZone store, ended up losing his life in this situation. However, Mr. Burton and 3 of the other co-defendants had already completed the robbery and were out of the store. And at the time that they were already out of the store, one of his other co-defendants, Derek DeBruce, shot and killed Mr. Battle. Mr. Burton did not even hear the shot go off. He did not encourage the shooting. He didn't tell him to shoot it. He didn't even know that someone had been shot until they were in the getaway car and leaving back to their point of contact. And he didn't even know that the man had died until the next day, and of course was horrified to find that out. And
we're going to have to speed through this a little bit in the sense that the argument made and what Mr. Burton was convicted of is felony murder, and at long and short of it, it seemed like he was the ringleader, they argued, of this armed robbery. Thus, he had some sort of intent to harm somebody that day.
Yeah, and that is actually really a twisting of what was put on at trial, and I can get into it much more deeply, but I'll try to give you a quick summary here. Mr. Burton, the only evidence that they put on at trial at all of any type of intent was the 16-year-old co-defendant. They put him on the stand and they said, "Did Mr. Burton tell you anything before he went in to conduct the robbery?" And he said, "Well, if there's any trouble, let him handle it." Clearly seeing that that's not enough to show that there's any intent to kill, on redirect examination, the prosecutor said that to him, said that you said that if anybody needed to get hurt, to let him handle it. And the 16-year-old who had a deal testified and said, yeah, that's what he said. He has since retracted that. That's in the clemency petition as well, and said Mr. Burton never intended that anybody be hurt. But even there was still no intent that Mr. Burton intended that anybody be killed. And that's a real key point here, and it leads to why the state itself has gone on record saying that this execution would be arguably unjust. That's their words, because there is another cruel irony here in that the shooter ended up having his case overturned by the 11th Circuit Court of Appeals, and the state could have still pursued another sentencing hearing for him and tried to get the death penalty, but they agreed to resentence the shooter to life without parole. So with the state, as more conservative people would look at the state, and I think people across the spectrum, conservatives, liberals alike, expect the state to be consistent. And they also expect that in a situation where the state is exercising one of its most solemn and irreversible powers, that if the state itself is hesitant, has to hesitate as to the justice of the act, then this execution should not go forward. And in similar cases out of Texas, I would point Governor Abbott, Governor Perry, most recently Governor Stitt have commuted sentences in very similar situations where the lesser culpable person was getting the death penalty and the more culpable person was not. And in those instances, even the lesser culpable were much more involved in the instance in the Governor Abbott's. He had even requested that the murders take place. Whereas, again, here we have no evidence at all that Mr. Burton intended that anybody be killed.
And, again, just to underline it, the man who pulled the trigger and killed Mr. Battle, he was given a different sentence of not being put to death, life with parole, and I believe he's now passed away in prison.
That's correct. Now, to be clear, he originally was sentenced to death, and that kind of plays into how some of this is played out since then. When he was resentenced to life without parole, we went and spoke with the jurors and asked their thoughts about this. 6 of the 8 living jurors, 4 are now passed away, but 6 of the 8 living jurors now support clemency. And 3 of them have specifically written the governor asking that she commute Mr. Burton's sentence and stating that they never would have voted for death in the first place had they known that the shooter would not face the same fate. And amazingly, beyond that, the victim's daughter has asked the governor publicly in video form and also had written a letter requesting that under these circumstances that Mr. Burton's sentence be commuted, and he is incredibly grateful for that.
And she was 9 when her father was killed?
I believe so. Yeah. Sometimes those days, she was very young, 8 or 9, right in through there when that happened. And, she had been unaware that Mr. Burton was the non-shooter, and she had also been unaware that the shooter had been resentenced to life without parole. And upon reflection on those things, she still supports the death penalty. And that's the thing. Again, Governor Abbott still supports the death penalty. Right. Governor Perry still supports the death penalty. Governor Stitt supports the death penalty. All these jurors who voted to sentence him to death, they all support the death penalty. And yet they are all rising up saying, this is not right. This man did not kill anybody. Even under the principles of an eye for an eye and a tooth for a tooth, Mr. Burton did not take Mr. Battle's life.
And Mr. Burton, Charles Lee Burton Jr., folks, he's now 75, I believe. Yes. And you have represented him for about, give or take, 17 years?
Yes, about 17 and a half years.
So describe the man you know today in as much detail as you like, and how he feels about that day in 91 at this point.
Sure. Just really quickly on an individual level, he is, not that I would not speak wonderfully of all my clients. I mean, I really do develop relationships with them all. Sonny has been really easy to get to know. His friends call him Sonny, and that's why his website is called www.charlessonnyburton.com, and you can get a lot more information about his case. Got to get that plug in. I'm giving a little smile to Joey here. And his whole petition that we presented to the governor is available on that site, as well as ways to contact the governor, so please do. But I'm sorry. Getting that plug in, I forgot the question.
Just the man you know.
Yeah, the man I know. Thank you. I'd like to tell one story that really shows you the type of person that he is. And I'll just jump right into it. Sure. When he was in prison previously on other charges earlier in his life, and he doesn't deny the fact that he was kind of, in his words, a bit of a thug in his younger life. But when he was in prison on another charge, his wife was murdered. And he was extremely angry and hateful towards the man who murdered his wife. Over the years, he brought himself through his Muslim faith to forgive him. And he received paperwork from the state asking if he would oppose the parole, as is typically done for victims of the families. And he did not oppose it. He was asked twice on 2 separate occasions, and he did not oppose it. And so another cruel irony that you see here is a man who himself essentially pardoned the man who killed his wife and allowed him to be paroled, and yet the state seeks to execute this man who issued that pardon on his own 3 weeks from yesterday, who didn't even kill anyone and didn't even see the shooting go down.
Now, where are we in the legal process? Is it now essentially in the hands of the governor?
It is essentially at this point in the hands of the governor. We do have one later stage pleading that we have been bringing through the federal courts. Realistically, given the way that the courts are going on these types of claims, I don't see a lot of chance on that. Mm-hmm. We do believe it's a very valid claim, and of course we wouldn't raise one if it wasn't. But so we will be raising that. But realistically, it is now in the hands of the governor.
Yeah, and I began the way I began because it's one thing to have, number one, abstract theoretical arguments about the death penalty, and that stretches back hundreds of years, if not thousands of years.
Sure.
And it's another thing to then go through the legal process when you have the death penalty as a punishment. It's a whole other thing when you are the chief executive of a state you are exercising a solemn and, yes, awesome authority, and you have to make that decision. So it's easy for me to say it not being in that position, but if I was in that position, I would not put him to death. I would commute his sentence to life without parole. But I wonder at this point the weight of that decision for the governor. And, I was asking you off air, you mentioned that the Attorney General's office has said this is arguably unjust after the man who actually pulled the trigger and killed Mr. Battle was given life without parole after the fact, after being on death row. I guess the Attorney General's office, it's not their role to argue against themselves, so to speak?
I would expect that's probably how. I wouldn't want to speak for them, of course, but I would expect I doubt that they would take offense if I said that that's probably a reasonable expectation.
So and that was at the time of when DeBruce, when his sentencing was changed after the federal ruling.
Yes, it was during that appellate process, and they were making arguments about it. And in one of their briefs presented to the federal court, they recognized that to leave a situation where Mr. Burton, the non-shooter, would be still facing the death penalty or executed while resentencing the shooter to life without parole would be arguably unjust. And so, once again, I would say that's the state's position. And other states, Governor Perry, Governor Abbott, most recently Governor Stitt, and we would really point to that one as well because he did it at the last minute in November. There was an individual who was scheduled to be executed. And at the last minute, he did realize, and in each of these, and I even have the proclamation, I'll give it to you from Governor Abbott, where that lesser culpability in all these statements really played a great factor. And once again, all of those governors realized that if this type of a case where it's really not the worst of the worst, and there's that disparity between the more culpable not receiving that punishment, it lessens the credibility of the judicial system and of the state's entire system of justice. And that's why clemency is here. That's why every state and the federal government, if it's a federal crime, have that last fail-safe so that someone who is in an executive position can step in and say, this slipped through the cracks. So this is, again, not just a case where you've got people who are against the death penalty all just standing up like they always do, which of course is their right. But they always do. They're always against every death penalty. We've got lots and lots of people who are very strongly in favor of the death penalty, realizing that this is simply a wrong situation and this should not go forward. And it would really, really undermine and bring shame to Alabama's system of justice to allow this type of an execution to go forward.
And you argue that this is a perfect example of the whole point and purpose of having a governor or a president or anybody having this sort of pardon or commutation power as a fail-safe. Like going back deep constitutional roots in this nation, this is the whhole point of having that power.
Yes, it is.
Or part of having that power.
Yes, it is. As a matter of fact, in our clemency petition, we even put a quote to that nature that was by a very respected think tank. You're probably familiar with them, the Heritage Foundation. They were speaking about that this is always that fail-safe for these types of cases.
Now, why has it gotten to this point, though, to where it is now in the governor's hands? Why? Because it seems, after reading your arguments last night, obvious that there are so many problems, and sometimes they even get into the legal weeds for the average listener or viewer out there. But why hasn't, on appeal over these many years, there been an opportunity to do this, to change at least his sentence off death row?
And, that is a great question, and that's one that we who fight in this area have to deal with all the time. I could go in depth, and I could go for hours. If you want to have me back on a show, we can do a 3-hour segment, and I can walk through each of these and all the nuances as to how this happened. In a nutshell, and this is truly not an exaggeration, and again, I don't like to exaggerate things. Once a conviction is in place, obviously, before a conviction is in place, all the burdens are on the state. They have the burden to prove beyond a reasonable doubt, all of these sorts of things. In his case, there were so many things that were wrong where the prosecutor and the court conveyed things to the jury that allowed the jury to believe that the requisite intent that was involved here, a particularized intent to kill, could be found simply if he participated in or encouraged the shooter to participate in the robbery, which of course is incorrect. his own attorney didn't correct that. So we had this cascade of errors. Jury instructions were confusing. However, once the courts look through and they can find other things that maybe the jury did understand it for these reasons and they uphold it, it then becomes very, very difficult to overturn those opinions because the standards then become very high for us to be able to prove that was a constitutional violation. And in the federal courts, and we would have to go, as you know, I know you're familiar with the issue, it's a very nuanced issue, but we had an issue that every single jurisdiction in the United States of America agrees with us on the proposition. And the federal courts even were saying, we're right. This is something that the Supreme Court has said 1,000 times, but because it's such a well-established proposition, it's never been challenged, and therefore it was never a holding of the United States Supreme Court. And if it's not a holding of the United States Supreme Court after 1997, the federal courts can't grant relief. So there are all these procedural barriers that got in the way, and that's really the message that we're trying to get to the governor here is, that's obviously not her fault that these procedural bars were in place for him to be able to get relief by the courts, but she is available there as that failsafe. And it is a deep and responsible constitutional duty, and so we hope that she does the same as Governor Abbott, Governor Perry, Governor Asa Hutchinson as well. The five most comparable cases that we cited in our petition, 4 of the 5 of them were conservative Republican governors, and the other was Governor Terry McAuliffe of Virginia, who issued a commutation in the same vein. So this goes across, again, political spectrums. It also goes across faith. I mean, we had a rabbi speaking at our rally on Monday talking about how even by Old Testament standards and under all the Old Testament law, when he fits in what happened in this case, they didn't really have the concept of felony murder. This would have been manslaughter for Mr. Burton. Under the law, we admit that he was guilty of felony murder here, but he was not guilty of capital murder because they did not show a specific, particularized intent to kill. Many states call it a specific intent to kill. It's called particularized intent to kill here, but it's same difference. It's the same concept.
And again, folks, we've been talking to Matt Scholes, and I want to end this way. First off, if folks are listening to this conversation and they want to learn more, or if they want to reach out to the governor's office, how can they do so?
Sure, thank you. We have a website that has a lot of information on it. It gives kind of just overviews of the case, so you can get summaries. You can also click on the entire clemency petition. That's open to the public, other than redacted information for personal information. But that is all at www. His friends call him Sonny. So it's www.charlessonnyburton.com. He spells the Sonny S-O-N-N-Y. So www.charles, traditional spelling, Sonny, S-O-N-N-Y, Burton.com. And you can find the links to all of that information there. You can sign up to get newsletters. You can even email the governor from there. We encourage people even to write the governor's office. Old-fashioned letters are often very powerful in this day and age because people don't receive them often. Right. You can write her at 600 Dexter Avenue, Montgomery, Alabama, 36130. And you can also call her hotline and leave a message and let her know that you have serious concerns about this and why, and for whatever reasons are resonating with you. That number is 334-242-7100.
And Sonny is scheduled to be executed, just to remind folks, 3 weeks from yesterday.
That's correct. Yes, on March 12th, absent the governor's intervention.
Well, and I guess my final question is this, because we've never met each other, and I appreciate you reaching out through email. Why do this? Like, why pick this career? I'd imagine these are very, very, very difficult cases, and the many aspects of our humanity in this regard, the worst and the best. But why do you do this?
You know, to be totally honest with you, in some ways I slipped into it. I just sort of fell into it, but not totally. When I went to law school, I had taught high school for 6 years. I always kind of wanted to do something in public interest. I actually liked my students, but I just couldn't take teaching the same subject over and over and over again. I thought I'd be bored out of my mind. So I went to law school. I got a couple clerkships with federal judges. I clerked for the last judge appointed by President Clinton and the first judge appointed by these were federal appellate court judges, and the first appointed by President Bush. And that opened up some doors for me. This sounded very appealing, and I have just loved working with my clients and with their families. And I have a great group of people I work with at our office at the Federal Defender's office here. And, I get the support that I need. It's been a rough year and a half. I have been involved in 4 executions over the year and a half at one level or another, and had to witness 2 additional ones over that time period. So it does come with some tremendous burdens, but it also comes with some tremendous ties. I've had the pleasure of being on teams that and helping lead teams, and in one case leading a team that have gotten people off of death row. But again, unfortunately, it is definitely a reality in this state, and I have also had to witness executions. So especially in a case like this, again, we just hope and pray that the governor will really look at this, consider it the way that the governors in these other states have, and hopefully do very similarly to Governor Stitt and commute to this sentence at the last minute. And again, uphold the integrity of Alabama's judicial system by doing so.
Well, I appreciate your time, Matt, and you have my number, you have my contact. Please reach out in these next few weeks if there's any breakthroughs, and
I'll gladly do that, and please reach out to me as well.
Yes,
You've got my cell number also.
Yes, sir. Well, we have to hit this break. We'll be right back after this.
Want to carry News Talk in your pocket? Download the News Talk 93.1 app from the App Store. Available on iPhone and Android. Never miss a moment. Download now.
For more than 50 years, the Tears family's been keeping the river region flowing with Roto-Rooter. From drain cleaning to septic repair and installation, no job's too big or too messy with a local team you can trust. So when water won't go where it's supposed to, call the hometown experts who've been serving Montgomery for over half a century. That's 272-7130. Or visit rotorooteralabama.com. And remember,
call Roto-Rooter, that's the name. And away go troubles down the drain. Roto-Rooter.
I'm back to doing what I love and more, thanks to the Good Feet store.
I suffered with plantar fasciitis for almost 20 years. I would try drugstore insoles and supports.
If you suffered with plantar fasciitis, we know the search for pain relief can feel like a hopeless ordeal.
I've been through surgeries, foot injections. I thought that foot pain was going to be with me for the rest of my life.
At the Good Feet store, we hear stories every day of all kinds of cheap inserts, expensive shoes, and other failed remedies people have tried that just didn't work.
I was trying all different things. Not a single one worked. And then I was driving past the Good Feet store, and I thought, why not? Give it a try. They wanted to make sure that they gave me the right arch support for my feet. Then it was like, okay, this is different. These make a difference.
I'm so glad I met Good Feet. It changed my life.
Don't lose hope. Give the Good Feet store a try.
We're located at 7341 East Chase Parkway in the shops at East Chase. Now hiring.
Why'd I go to the doctor? Working on the farm, my heart kept skipping a beat. I didn't think much of it, but my daughters made me get checked out. Turns out I have atrial fibrillation, which increases the risk of stroke about 5 times.
Symptoms like irregular heartbeat, heart racing, chest pain, shortness of breath, fatigue, or lightheadedness can come and go. But if it's AFib, the risk of stroke remains. If you have symptoms, contact a doctor.
I'm so glad I did.
Visit notimetowait.com. Sponsored by Bristol-Myers Squibb and Pfizer.
You can't control interest rates. You can't control housing inventory. And you definitely can't control what the national news decides to panic about this week. But here's what you can control. You control your timing. You decide when it's the right time to buy, when it makes sense to refinance, and when to tap into your equity to renovate, invest, or consolidate debt and free up monthly cash flow. Real estate decisions aren't one size fits all, and they shouldn't be driven by headlines or social media noise. They should be based on your goals, your finances, and your life. The smartest moves happen when you focus on what you can control and work with someone who helps you see the full picture. Give us a call at Alabama Home Mortgage today at 334-567-4223 or visit us online at myalabamahomemortgage.com. That's Alabama Home Mortgage, because there is a difference in mortgage companies. NMLS 1586368, Equal Housing Lender.
We get this question all the time.
Do you handle that?
Buying or selling a home?
Yes.
Commercial?
Yes.
Land or investments?
Absolutely. Hannah and Eddie Realty Group. One team.
Every real estate move. 334-322-0662.
The Rich Thomas Weather Network, brought to you by Montgomery Paint and Body. From little fender benders to total body repair, MPB will fix it good as new, maybe better. For 4 decades, the Turner family has been getting you back on the road. Call 279-7325.
Rich Thomas Weather.
Well, hi, everybody. We continue to enjoy this little spring preview with a high temperature today in the upper 70s, maybe teasing 80 degrees. A little breezy with the risk of a few spotty showers, maybe even a thunderstorm somewhere in the area today and tonight. Tonight's low 64. Then on Saturday, as a cold front approaches, the chance of showers and thunderstorms will be a little higher. Maybe even a few strong to severe storms with a high 75 to 77 Saturday. Much cooler Sunday. Breezy with a high in the mid-50s. Down to 30 on Sunday night, and Monday's high may not make it to 50. I think the coldest night will be Monday night with lows in the mid-20s. Get ready for a big weekend change from the Blue Water Weather Center. This is Rich Thomas.
CB&S Bank, serving families and communities since 1906. Proud to be named 16th best performing bank nationally in their asset category by American Banker. Learn more at cbsbank.com. CB&S Bank. Member FDIC, equal housing lender.
The River Region's first and only news talk station on FM. Live, local talk. News Talk 93.1 FM, WACV.
Welcome back. Troy Carrico here in the studio with me. Eddie will be joining us a little later. And we have on the phone State Senator Will Barfoot. Senator, Will, how you doing?
Pretty good. How you doing, Joey?
Oh, life is all right, better than I deserve in many, many ways. So I wanted to jump in on this bill that essentially gives encouragement, oversight to the city of Montgomery and the city of Huntsville on force levels, on law enforcement levels. I talked to Ed Grimes, Councilman Grimes, yesterday. I've talked to a few other members of the city, and I just wanted to get direct from you. So without characterizing it myself, what does your bill do?
Well, first of all, I want to say thanks for having me on. I saw an article. Looks like Councilman Ed Grimes is certainly supportive of that, and I'm appreciative of his willingness to stand up publicly and voice that. There are other members I know on city council that have the same concerns, quite honestly, that a lot of the citizens or most of the citizens of Montgomery have, and that is the inadequate staffing that we have currently at the Montgomery Police Department levels, at least as far as the numbers that I understand. The bill itself is relatively simple. It, as it relates to Montgomery being a Class 3 municipality, it just simply provides that the city would have to ensure that there are 2 sworn officers per every 1,000 population in the state, and that's based on the 2020 census. During the 2020 census numbers, Montgomery had about 200,000 or so people living within the municipality, which means that we should have about 400 officers. I'll say that those numbers are probably even less, that 400 numbers, than some reports that have come out about what we should have from the past couple of years. I've seen some that were as high as I think 485 or 495, and even some discussion that should be even much higher than that. But 400 we think is at least a reasonable starting point. The staffing levels at the Montgomery Police Department have declined. What those numbers are, I think, have been extremely difficult to get. I've seen some estimates here lately, 220 to 230 officers, which is far below the 400 officers that would be needed. For comparison purposes, Huntsville is at the 2020 census was about the same population as Montgomery, and they have significantly more officers than Montgomery does. So, we've got to do something to change. This is not a knock on the chief of police. This is not a knock on certainly not a knock on the law enforcement officers that are sworn officers in Montgomery and do a good job of trying to control crime and meet the challenges that they've got. But they need help. There are officers who have left, officers who have gone to other agencies and other areas of the state, retired when they otherwise wouldn't have retired, and we've got to do something to address it, and this bill tries to help with that. So.
And my perspective on this is informed by, I can remember back when I was a lowly producer and Dan Morris was giving Mayor Todd Strange a hard time for being nowhere at 425 instead of 490. So all the folks, I got to say this for me, claiming this is performative or all this stuff. No, it's not. We actually mean it. And we think especially if Montgomery could get up to around 400 officers, it would help the chief. It'll help the people of this place. It's just what we should do. But on the 5-year period where they're having to report, how exactly does that work? Is it just reporting, here's what we're doing in terms of numbers and recruiting? But what are sort of the details of that?
Sure. So, once this law goes into effect, the Class 3 municipality like Montgomery would have to report what their numbers are of sworn police officers, and then you determine whether or not, based on that 2020 census, whether or not they'd be in compliance with what the law tries to accomplish, and that is 2 officers per 1,000. If they're not, then there is a grace period, and during that grace period, it's not just a reporting part, but during that grace period, there are steps that a municipality would have to take to show that they were making up a deficit of at least 10% as a minimum between the current officer ratio that they had and the required ratio that's provided in the legislation. So just as an example, if you're talking about the need for 400 officers in Montgomery, and if Montgomery had currently 250, which I think is a little bit more than what they have, is my understanding, you've got a deficit there of 150 folks at 10%. Montgomery, to be in compliance for the first year of that 5-year grace period, would need to have a net of 15 extra officers a year. Again, it would go into a year 2, a year 3, a year 4, and a year 5, and hopefully Montgomery will continue to grow their officer personnel, sworn officers, and then at the end of that, once they're in compliance with that number, which, by the way, is still below the 400, honestly,
right.
Once they grow to get into compliance according to the legislation, there's a year hangover out there that they still come under the guidance of ALEA, and to make sure that there's some oversight by ALEA.
Who would be deciding whether or not they're in compliance?
Well, that would be ALEA. I mean, certainly from the standpoint of those numbers, I'm assuming that we would have adequate numbers, the correct numbers, that the Montgomery Police Department would say, hey, here's what we are in year 2, and here's how we've grown. Not just the new officers that have joined, which is a big portion of that, obviously, but you can't just look at the new officers that joined. You got to take away the officers that are retired or left for other reasons. So whatever that net increase of officers would go towards meeting that 10% over the next 5 years, and certainly if the bill calls for, if there is if a Class 3 municipality like Montgomery is not in compliance and they're not meeting that 10% every year on an annual basis, then there are things that ALEA could do to help Montgomery in that problem, the problem that we have, and that is growing the police department. Some of those are ALEA would establish a corrective action plan to get Montgomery in compliance, recruiting, retaining law enforcement officers, and there are certainly other things that ALEA would be able to do if they thought that was the appropriate steps, and that would be, to contract with the county sheriff, to enter enforcement agreements with the county sheriffs, other jurisdictions, other state agencies. And, we're already doing some of that. Right. It's the thing that just really baffles my mind. The MAX, or the Metro Area Crime Suppression Unit, is the state of Alabama taxpayers throughout the state have put money into that program where the police department, the county sheriffs, ALEA, and others have been working primarily in Montgomery, although it's not just a Montgomery piece of legislation that we passed or funding for just Montgomery, but we've used it in Montgomery with great results, which goes to show you that more officers that you have on the streets, you come in contact with more people, which means you're probably going to be able to help on the crime out there, right?
Hear, hear. Yeah, and I think it's in the right direction, and I hesitate here because I don't want you to call your shot. That might always be a bit perilous. But how confident are you in terms of how receptive your colleagues, your fellow legislators are about this?
Well, we've had the benefit, I guess, of, I said this in committee meeting. Let me answer it this way. I said this in committee meeting the other day. I represent people who live in Montgomery. I represent people who live outside the city limits of Montgomery but work in Montgomery, and we 365 days a year, for better or worse, experience what goes on in Montgomery. There are some good things. There's some positive things. There's no question about that. But I said, the other legislators that come to Montgomery who live in Huntsville, or who live in Boaz, or who live in Dothan or Baldwin County, they are here for a couple of months out of the year. They're not blind to what's happening in Montgomery. They see it. So in addition to the people that I represent who have been calling on for some time to get some type of control at the Montgomery Police Department, or with crime, at least in Montgomery, those legislators see it as well. So I'll just say this, I'm confident they understand what we're trying to do to put assets and resources in the city of Montgomery to battle crime, and I'm very supportive is the way I would summarize that from legislators by and large that I've talked to.
Well, I appreciate this bill, and I appreciate many of the bills and judicial and crime packages you've helped put together over these last few years, and also just appreciate you being available to jump on the show like this. And let's do it again soon. I guess it's on me more to invite you more often, but I always appreciate talking to you.
Man, I always enjoy it. Thank you for having me, and look forward to being able to talk with you again.
Thanks, sir. Again, State Senator Will Barfoot, folks, and just wanted to get him on the table here on the show about this particular idea, and I think it's a good idea, because I'll just be blunt, because I'm not in politics. I think there's a bit of a game going on of you don't have to defund the police outright.
You don't have to.
You can, and in fact, you can budget for more officers. You can do all sorts of stuff, and then we just recruiting's so tough, and everybody's having trouble recruiting, right?
I wanted to ask him, but I thought it might not be the right time or place. But why are we here? Why? How did we find ourselves this way? Yet Huntsville has already met its goals. Is it leadership? Is it administratively?
I think it's leadership.
Yeah, I do too.
And
I don't want to put him on the spot, though.
And I'm fully willing to hear out some of the environmental factors. Like after 2020, it was hard to get anybody to want to do the job of being a police officer. Fair enough.
That's everywhere, though.
You could argue that, MPD, the trouble started before this mayor's leadership. Like, fair enough. You could argue that, well, what about the school system and the social programs and, the Republicans have been screwing over, what the liberals really want. If you could just listen to us, things would have been so much better over going back 20, 30, 40, 50 years.
Yeah, since the 60s.
When you started Montgomery Academy, that's when the problem really started.
Exactly right.
And it's like, come on, guys. No. There's a current leader right now. There are current issues right now. And I think the city would be a lot better off if you had more officers. And if it is necessary for the state to step in, if the city can't do a 10% stair step.
Agreed.
For 5 years each, well, maybe the state should step in more.
It was more than gracious. It was very, very. He gave, as he laid it out for the 5-year step-ups, it was only 15 officers a year. Yeah. So that's well below level still.
We got some calls rolling in. Let's go to line one. You're on there. Who's this?
There's Papa B.
Hey, Papa B.
Papa B.
Well, I'm getting some calls, so just bear with that noise.
Yeah, that could be.
In the background.
I thought that was the dinner bell. That's awfully early.
Well, it might be. I might need to pull over at a restaurant here. So anyway, let me see if I can turn it down. Anyway, all right. So, Troy.
Yes, sir.
So, not defund the police, just don't fund the police.
Or fund them, but just we can't figure out how to hire them and keep them here.
Well,
somehow.
Again, don't hire the police. There you go.
Mm-hmm.
So. It's just as effective as don't fund the police,
yes.
or defund the police. They're the same thing. It's the same game. Just a few different little rules and wrinkles put in there, right?
Right, but do you want a George Floyd moment here in the heart capital of not just Alabama, but the civil rights movement? I mean, come on.
I swear I don't know how to turn that down. But anyway.
You must be important.
Technology, not really.
Wait, is that like a...
Probably my wife telling me to get on some honeydew list.
There you go.
Or I was wondering for a second, is that a smoke detector? But I don't know.
Oh, that's the wrong demographic. No.
Not a smoke.
Hey, let me ask you something. Papa B, because you're pretty forthright. My wife believes that when you exclude when you go through the reasons why the city of Montgomery is this way in terms of its law enforcement, but that's just a byproduct of the other aspects of the administrative government, you're left with the conclusion that this is almost intentional. If you think about it, this is taking the ship down, like Joey said a minute ago, and you didn't allude on it. You said there's also games being played here, and you got to wonder.
Oh no, I mean it's not just. I mean it's. You don't really have to think about it long to see what's happening.
I agree.
Okay, is this like intentional in order to get rid of some people and make them move out of the city so that we can do this and that?
I don't know if it goes that far, but I mean, I'm not arguing.
It could.
It could be a simple philosophy on policing too.
Maybe so. I mean, I appreciate you giving somebody the benefit of the doubt. Okay, but whenever you eliminate all the impossible, the only thing you're left with is the truth.
That's right.
By the way, Trump is doing a press conference. We'll definitely have to pull some clips of that. And immediately instituting a 10% global tariff with a different rule, different statute of law after the Supreme Court shot down his tariffs, and he called a lot of the members of the court a disgrace, I believe.
It is very, very much so.
And so we'll have to jump in on that here in a second.
Maybe Congress can, redo something. I don't know, but it's bad. Really, really bad.
Well, and what's crazy is like the court found that this rule, the statute he was leaning on, you could do a complete embargo of different products, like to infinity and beyond, but like you can't put a 50% tariff based on this rule.
What was the term? Wrongful? There was a term, a two-word term. Was it present or pressing danger or something like that? They were saying that he didn't meet that standard, which.
Well, I would press it to the wall if I was the Trump administration. I'd say, "Oh, we can do an embargo. Yep. Yeah, everything's embargoed.
Yep.
Now what are you going to do?" Butthole.
They made the law, let them enforce it, right?
Right, that's right. Andrew Jackson.
That's right,
I believe,
man. It always works.
He was right about doing it.
He was.
Just shut up. But anyway, all right. But back to the point here. All right. So now you made me lose my train of thought, Joey.
Well, and I kind of got some other callers here, and
okay. Well, I'm just going to say this. Then I'm going to try to be quick about it. So, are we at a point here now in our state and really in the nation that we need to come up with dereliction of duty laws for public officials?
Yep, I like that.
If you're not going to carry out your responsibilities, then guess what? We got a way to make you do it or remove you from the ability to do so. All right. Anyway,
appreciate it.
Thanks a lot.
Thanks, Bob. Be a good call. Let's go to line 2. You're on there. Who's this?
Simpler Days.
Hey, Simpler Days.
Hey, Simpler Days.
First, I want to commend Senator Barfoot and then our great council member, Ed Grimes, for standing against the wind and putting himself out there, knowing that he's not now a member of the pack. What you were talking about, intent, Joey, this was a well planned out plan to dismantle the Montgomery Police Department. He did not the way it was, and the night of his, inauguration, he said he wanted to do away with old Montgomery. Well, the Montgomery Police Department is part of that, and he will continue till he gets privatization, till he gets it exactly where the way he wants it. And you're talking about 200 or so officers. Then you got to take into consideration how many of those are in supervisory command positions that don't actually do enforcement, and then you've got, are they working the desk? Are they in support positions? So how many really do we have? And I know it hadn't been that long ago, Joey. When I worked down there, we had over 500 officers.
Yep.
We had 50 assigned to the traffic division, writing tickets and working accidents. And now he wants to go to Texas and get a group to do a basic function of that agency to work traffic accidents. And when people realize what is going on, I just hope it's not going to be too late. But he has a very specific plan to dismantle that police department. And I just thank Councilman Grimes for standing up, because he knows what's going on. And he's one of the ones that will speak out. And it's going to take more. And when that council is going to have to be changed, and the leadership of this city is going to have to be changed before things. And I just hope, 5-year plan. You can recruit officers, but are they going to stay? And that's the thing. They hemorrhage them out as fast as they recruit them.
Yep. This is thus the issue in many ways. Well, I appreciate it, Simpler Days. Great call.
Okay, have a good day.
Let's go to line 3 real quick. You're on there. Who's this? Hello, anybody there?
Hello?
Soldier Boy.
Hey, Soldier Boy, what's up?
Hey, who was that? Is Troy there?
Yeah, Troy is here, and Eddie Bader is now in the
Eddie just walked
studio.
in, yeah.
Hey, ladies.
You're looking like a CIA agent right now.
About had to kill somebody a while ago, so yeah.
Buy one, get one free.
That's right.
Super wonder. Hey, Troy, you were absolutely right when you hit what the problem is. It's not about money. They're offering more money. They're offering incentives for education. They're offering incentives for first-time home buyers in the police department, for financing. What it is simply is leadership.
Yep.
At the mayor's office, okay? You don't have their back. It's like I told people when I retired, after I retired, when I had to go through Clinton and Carter, talk about a pain in those 26 years of military service.
Yeah, it was bad. It was bad.
You know what I'm saying? Reagan was my best. Reagan was my best time, and I got the best pay raise, of course, too.
Yeah.
But it was ironic because it's all about leadership. If I know you ain't got my back, for example, I got friends at Elmore County Sheriff's Department. They got 30, 40 police officers that are qualified, waiting to get hired. They don't want to come down to MPD. Then you go to the Sheriff's Department. Go down to Montgomery County Sheriff's Department. How many officers are on that waiting list? 30, 40 officers. Prattville, same thing. It's all about leadership. It's not always about money. It's not always about continuing education. It's not about a lot of tangibles that we're not looking at. It's leadership, and you're right. And here's the problem. I got a problem with Savannah Guthrie. She was a big left-wing progressive liberal, and she was against, cutting back the budget on police officers and cutting back the police force. But yet, she wants us to spend all this money on the FBI and everything to help find her mother. What a hypocrite she is, Savannah.
Yeah, I'm with you. And I'll tell you something. You hit a key point here. The police are a paramilitary organization, in my opinion. They are an extension of like a gendarme, if you will, for the nation. And leadership is critical in those kind of organizations because if you don't have it, you have a cultural rift. You got a culture adrift, and that's what the MPD's got right now.
Well, Soldier Boy, I'm out of time, man. Appreciate the call. Appreciate it.
Thanks.
See you, Soldier Boy.
272-9228. So, both gentlemen, y'all both seem good today.
Reports.
Well, I mean,
reports of my untimely demise from Monday were greatly exaggerated.
Okay.
So
Very
I'm okay.
And then
he hasn't killed anybody. That's the good news.
You're gonna get some snacks though.
I got some snacks. Shack Heads.
What are those?
Shack Head gummy bears.
Oh, they're gummy bears that look like Shaq's head.
Yeah,
Shaquille O'Neal.
Yeah.
Wow.
They're huge.
Whoa, those
They're
are
huge.
massive.
Those are bigger than bears.
They're non-THC. They're just regular from the convenience store.
THC, I guess I'm wondering.
Do you chew them or suck on them?
I chew them.
Okay, good.
I chew them. But I got a key lime pie in the car.
Eddie? You passed the test today.
Travels with pie.
This part of the program brought to you by Invista Advisors.
That's why I like you. Hey, Daddy.
We can do it all, folks. Serious death penalty cases, crime levels, and police forces in Montgomery, and Eddie passing the test.
Yep. Good job.
This part of the program, again, brought to you by Invista Advisors. Austin Branco's busy today, but I imagine after the Supreme Court ruling.
Oh, yes.
My goodness, Trump is still going live saying revenues from tariffs will go up after, so what a mess. We'll get into it as it's breaking. But they're in Invista Advisors. They can help you, number one, to have a long-term financial plan that isn't based on just, headlines, all that stuff. Of course, Austin runs the brokerage side of the business, and he can help you with the rest of the team put together a great way to manage your money and investment portfolio. But planning for your financial future goes beyond just those investments. Of course, could be beginning a family, and you want to set things out in the right way, especially something like life insurance. Could be you are more middle-aged, thinking about retirement in the next decade, but most of your money's tied up in, say, a small business you started. Or, of course, you want to make sure everything is buttoned up when it comes to end-of-life concerns. Any sort of goals you want to meet in life, Invista Advisors can help you plan for that. So you can always learn more at InvistaAdvisors.com or just give them a call direct to start the conversation at 387-0094. That's 387-0094. And be sure to tell them that Joey and Troy and Eddie, be sure to tell them that the radio guy sent you. We'll be right back.
He may not know whether he's coming or going, but whether you're going to work or coming home, Greg Budell is there. Mornings, 6 till 9, and afternoons, 3 till 6. Only on News Talk 93.1 FM, WACV.
Hi, I'm Carl Schmidt, naturopath and owner of the Herb Shop Wellness Center at 8161 Vaughn Road. You know, with over 30 years experience in natural wellness, I've seen countless health fads come and go. A few years ago, we added a patented technology that actually activates your stem cells. It reverses the aging process at the cellular level. However, you do need proper hydration and targeted nutrition. At the Herb Shop, our advanced scanning and testing technology allows us to accurately assess your nutritional needs and get a customized plan for you. Come in today and see what the Herb Shop can do for you.
Broadcasting from the Riverside Chevrolet Master Control Center, this is WACV Cusada, News Talk 93.1 FM. When it's Chevy, it's Riverside.
With SRN News, I'm Bob Agnew in Washington. A key element of President Trump's economic program struck down by the U.S. Supreme Court today. The justices, in a 6-3 decision, ruled against his sweeping global tariffs. The decision centers on those tariffs imposed under an emergency powers law, including the broad reciprocal tariffs Mr. Trump levied on many other countries. A defeat at the state level for Democrats. Now a Virginia judge is temporarily blocking Democrats' plan to hold an April referendum on new congressional maps that could seriously impact the midterm elections. The decision threatens Democrats' push for more U.S. House seats in the state of Virginia. America's gross domestic product increased at a 1.4 annual rate in the fourth quarter. That's down from 4.4% growth seen in the July through September quarter and 3.8% the quarter before that. On Wall Street right now, the Dow is down 52 points. This is SRN News.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm, and Chuck McDowell, definitely not an attorney. This is Chuck. Do you feel stupid for buying a timeshare? Don't. It's not your fault. You were most likely told you could rent it, and it was a great financial investment. And the deal was available today only. If this happened to you, contact your resort or Wesley Financial Group for help today.
Call Wesley now for your free exit information kit. 800-242-3131. 800-242-3131.
My name is Whitney Allen, and I'm a widow. My husband, Ryan, died. We never thought we'd ever have to use life insurance, but the unexpected happened. With Ethos, signing up was fast and 100% online. You can get a quote in seconds, apply in minutes, and get same-day coverage. No medical exams, and you can get up to $3 million worth of coverage. I'm grateful we were prepared.
Get your free quote at ethos.com/term. That's ethos.com/term. Paid spokesperson. Time spent on application may vary. Online health questions required.
Rich Thomas weather brought to you by M&M Outdoors. Book your stay today at MNMCampground.com for relaxation at its best. It's easy to find and hard to leave. M&M Outdoors, your home away from home.
Rich Thomas weather.
Well, hi, everybody. We continue to enjoy this little spring preview with a high temperature today in the upper 70s, maybe teasing 80 degrees. A little breezy with the risk of a few spotty showers, maybe even a thunderstorm somewhere in the area today and tonight. Tonight's low 64. Then on Saturday, as a cold front approaches, the chance of showers and thunderstorms will be a little higher. Maybe even a few strong to severe storms with a high 75 to 77 Saturday. Much cooler Sunday. Breezy with a high in the mid-50s. Down to 30 on Sunday night, and Monday's high may not make it to 50. I think the coldest night will be Monday night with lows in the mid-20s. Get ready for a big weekend change from the Blue Water Weather Center. This is Rich Thomas.
From the Blue Water Broadcasting News Center, these are today's top stories. Montgomery Police continue to investigate a Wednesday night shooting that left a woman seriously injured. MPD responded to an area hospital just after 10 p.m. where the unidentified victim was receiving treatment for a gunshot wound. Officers later determined the shooting occurred just outside the bypass on Woodley Road. No suspect or motive has been identified. The state of Alabama could be on the verge of a minimum wage increase. For more than 15 years, Alabama has had no minimum wage requirement, instead defaulting to the federal rate of $7.25 an hour. Senate Bill 171 would establish a state-mandated minimum wage of $10 per hour. If passed into law, SB 171 would take effect on January 1st next year. Free dental care will be available this weekend as Strong Tower Church hosts its annual dental clinic. The clinic will run from 8 to 3 p.m. Saturday at the church located on Boys Club Road. Services will be provided at no cost to children and adults in need of dental care. In addition to the dental services, there'll be food, games, and bounce houses for the children. From the Blue Water Broadcasting News Center, I'm Sky Mosley.
For too long, Alabama's statewide news companies have shamed us for our conservative Christian values. Alabama deserves a news company that cherishes our culture, a company that isn't bought and paid for by the powers that be. 1819 News is that company. Run by Alabamians for Alabamians, 1819 News celebrates what is good and beautiful about our state, while exposing those who work against our values in secret. Just go to 1819news.com to learn more. Subscribe to our newsletter. That's 1819news.com. This hour of news and views is brought to you by our good friends at Alabama Home Mortgage. Alabama Home Mortgage, 567-4223. Visit them on the web at myalabamahomemortgage.com. NMLS number 1586368, an equal housing lender.
At AMS Studios, indulge in the ultimate spa experience at the River Region's premier destination for relaxation and rejuvenation. From advanced skincare like IPL and laser hair removal to body treatments like Evolve, beauty enhancements, and therapeutic massage, our expert team is dedicated to helping you look and feel your best. Explore our full range of services on our website, amsstudiosmedspa.com, and find us on Facebook at AMS Studios.
If you're tired of average meals and rush dining, come see us. Epicure and Jack's Tavern offers wet-aged steaks cut in-house, scratch-made lunches, unbeatable beer buckets, and unforgettable dinners. This is food made with pride and served with heart. We invite you to come visit soon at 2060 Downing Street in Millbrook. Epicure and Jack's Tavern. You'll taste the difference.
Hi, I'm Carl Schmidt, naturopath and owner of the Herb Shop Wellness Center in the Pepper Tree Shopping Center. We've used Blue Water Broadcasting for years, and we attribute our results to what they do for us. If you want results with your advertising, call Blue Water.
Did you know that radio is the #1 reach platform in all of media? It's true. Call us to find out how to put radio's #1 reach to work for your business. Blue Water Broadcasting. Local folks helping local business.
The views and opinions of the following program are solely those of the host and other contributors. These do not necessarily represent those of Liberty Acquisitions 825, Blue Water Broadcasting, its management, staff, or any advertisers. It's time for Montgomery's conversational radio show. It's news and views on News Talk 93.1 FM. To join the conversation, call 272-9228.
Troy Carrico in the studio with me. And of course, earlier today, the Supreme Court of the United States struck down Trump tariffs in a 6-3 decision. There's all sorts of, by the way, it wasn't like full, like it was 6-3, but it was like different voting patterns on different parts of the decision.
Yeah. So was even
so
clear
they
on that?
weren't, and they're kind of all over the place in terms of just basic logic. Now, maybe they have a point, and I always thought this might be coming, that the statute isn't explicitly allowing for you to put like a 50% tariff and then bring it down to 25 and all these other things. They did say the statute would allow, if you want to just put an embargo on all bananas from anywhere in the world, you could, under that statute.
Then what's the difference?
Right. So you could infinitely
do all or
ban
nothing?
some. You're right. Yeah, and this is the point, Justice Kavanaugh, who dissented in the case.
Stupid.
It's Alito, Kavanaugh, and Thomas who dissented. It was Amy Coney Barrett, Gorsuch that joined Roberts and the liberals on the court.
It just seems, I'm sorry, but it seems like a very common sense issue, but you've got some people that are so damn smart they can't get out of their own way.
So I now have in front of me, because Trump just did a big press conference and all that stuff, but I have Trump's statement that he just put out.
Oh.
And Truth Social
Does he
statement.
curse?
I haven't even read it.
Oh, boy.
So, we've been busy doing the show, so let's go. And it's one so big where I can't read it. I got to turn my phone into landscape and zoom.
Right.
All right. The Supreme Court's ruling on tariffs is in all caps, is deeply disappointing. I am ashamed of certain members of the court for not having the courage to do what is right for our country. I would like to thank and congratulate Justice Thomas, Alito, and Kavanaugh for your strength, wisdom, and love of our country, which is right now very proud of you. When you read the dissenting opinions, there is no way that anyone can argue against them. Foreign countries that have been ripping us off for years are ecstatic and dancing in the streets. But they won't be dancing for long. The Democrats on the court are thrilled, but they will automatically vote no against anything that makes America strong and healthy again. They also are a disgrace to our nation. Others think they're being politically correct, which has happened before far too often with certain members of this court, when in fact they're just fools and lapdogs for the rhinos and radical left Democrats, and not that this should have anything to do with it, very unpatriotic and disloyal to the Constitution. It is my opinion that the court has been swayed by foreign interest and a political movement that is far smaller than people would think, but obnoxious, ignorant, and loud. He goes on. Now I'm going to stop with the Trump voice because this is so long. Yes. This was an important case to me, more as a symbol of economic and national security than anything else. The good news is that there are methods, practices, statutes, and other authorities as recognized by the entire court and Congress that are even stronger than the IEEPA tariffs. Available to me as President of the United States of America, and in actuality, I was very modest in my ask of other countries and businesses because I wanted to do nothing that could sway the decision that has been rendered by the court. I have very effectively utilized tariffs over the past year to make America great again. Our stock market has just recently broken the 50,000 mark on the Dow and simultaneously 7,000 on the S&P, two numbers that everybody thought upon our landslide election victory could not be attained until the very end of my administration. 4 years. Tariffs have likewise been used to end 5 of the 8 wars that I settled, have given us great national security, and together with our strong border, reduced fentanyl coming into our country by 30% when I use them as a penalty against countries illegally sending this poison to us. All of those tariffs remain, but other alternatives will now be used to replace the ones that the court incorrectly rejected. He keeps going. To show how ridiculous the opinion is, the court said that I'm not allowed to charge even $1 to any country under IEEPA, I assume to protect other countries, not the United States, which they should be interested in protecting, but I am allowed to cut off any and all trade or business with that same country, even imposing a foreign country destroying embargo, and do anything else I want to do to them. How nonsensical is that? Yeah. They are saying that I have the absolutely right to license, but not the right to charge a license fee. What license has ever been issued without the right to charge a fee? But now the court has given me the unquestioned right to ban all sorts of things from coming into our country, a much more powerful right than many people thought we had. Our country is the hottest anywhere in the world, but now I'm going in a different direction, which is even stronger than our original choice. As Justice Kavanaugh wrote in his dissent, quoting Kavanaugh, although I firmly disagree with the court's holding today, the decision might not substantially constrain a president's ability to order tariffs going forward. That is because numerous other federal statutes authorize the president to impose tariffs and might justify most, if not all, of the tariffs issued in this case. Those statutes include, for example, the Trade Expansion Act of 1962, Section 232, the Trade Act of 1974, Section blah, 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 and the Tariff Act of 1930. Thank you, Justice Kavanaugh. In actuality, while I am sure they did not mean to do so, the Supreme Court decision today, says Donald Trump, made a president's ability to both regulate trade and impose tariffs more powerful and crystal clear rather than less. There will no longer be any doubt, and the income coming in and the protection of our companies and country will actually increase because of this decision. Based on long-standing law and hundreds of victories to the contrary, the Supreme Court did not overrule tariffs. They merely overruled a particular use of EPA tariffs. The ability to block, embargo, restrict, license, or impose any other condition on a foreign country's ability to conduct trade with the United States under EPA has been fully confirmed by this decision. In order to protect our country, a president can actually charge more tariffs than I was charging in the past under the various other tariff authorities, which have also been confirmed and fully allowed. Therefore, effective immediately, all national security tariffs, Section 232, and existing Section 301 tariffs remain in place and in full force and effect. Today, I will sign an order to impose a 10% global tariff under Section 122, over and above normal tariffs already being charged. We are also initiating several Section 301 and other investigations to protect our country from unfair trading practices. Thank you for attention to this matter. Make America great again, President Donald J. Trump. Woo, he's pissed.
He is, but what's left out of all this is, and this is very interesting, there were several of the tariffs left in place that regarded national security trade matters, like technology transfers, things of that nature. So, but you're right, and I think he said, I didn't want to go the nuclear option, but now I can go. I'm going to have to go the nuclear option. Just embargo. Yeah, and it's like, well, you're undercutting the leader, and it does bad discredit to him on the international stage.
Wow. So that came out today, and this is right after yesterday,
right,
where Trump. He was reacting to a question by Peter Doocy of Fox News about Barack Obama saying he thinks aliens are real, but they wouldn't show them to me, or I never saw them myself. And then Barack came out and gave a clarification. Well, I didn't. I was just thinking, theoretically, like the odds of.
He violated. What did he say? He said he violated his.
Yeah, I think Trump said something to the effect, he released classified information. He shouldn't have done that.
That's right.
But Trump, in response to that,
didn't have him arrested?
Has now, he put out this yesterday evening.
Who knows?
Based on the tremendous interest shown, I will be directing the Secretary of War and other relevant departments and agencies to begin the process of identifying and releasing government files related to alien and extraterrestrial life, unidentified aerial phenomenon, UAP, and unidentified flying objects, UFOs, and any and all other information connected to these highly complex but extremely interesting and important matters. God bless America.
All right.
And I forwarded you a response from Lou Elizondo, and I spoke with him this morning, and he wants to come on, so we'll figure out a time to get him on. He said there's some other things going on, too, that might be released here very soon. So we'll see.
Yeah, this is, let's see what Lou is saying. Thank you, President Trump, and to those in your administration, as well as those in past administrations who fought for the same goal. Thank you to Congress, to the media, to the whistleblowers, and to the American people whose faith and persistence made this moment possible. This is the culmination of many years of effort, years in which families, careers, and personal safety often were placed at risk. Simply to have this conversation, I'm deeply grateful to witness this day and to honor those who helped begin this journey in 2007. Most notably, Senator Harry Reid, Senator Daniel Inouye, and Senator Ted Stevens. As we move forward together, move forward towards greater disclosure and transparency, My hope is that this moment brings people together. I have always believed that America is strong enough to face the truth and that the American people deserve nothing less. Here.
Yeah, Lou
got to get Lou on.
He told me, he said, Troy, he's been involved with a lot of consultation on this, and he knew that Trump would move on it, but it was set up by by Barack Obama going, I know for a fact there's stuff going on. So.
And by the way, there's more, folks. Breaking. GDP number well below expectations. Huge miss in fourth quarter growth caused by federal shutdown. The administration saying, well, it was a shutdown. Well, I remember y'all touting that 5.4% GDP that the Atlanta Fed put out. They were wrong. What was it, 1.4% growth? Still growth, but that's anemic. And then also Trump to make his decision whether or not to attack Iran in the next 10 days. Did you see also on the foreign policy front, Poland pulls out of a particular treaty
landmines,
so they can start laying landmines to stop Russia?
Oh, that's interesting. You know what I love about Poland? They're not politically correct. They don't apologize for it. They're looking after their own people and their own sovereignty. And they said, what did that Prime Minister say? There will never be a Muslim immigrant to Poland ever in my lifetime. He said,
and
for a reason.
Also, and I won't play because I don't want to share a dirty word, even if it's whispered into somebody's dirty ear. Les Wexner. The deposition of him before the Oversight Committee in Congress, a lot of videos, the whole thing was released, a lot of video clips out of it. Pretty, to me, damning of Wexner. He does not come across.
Likes to talk, man.
Yeah, and he does not come across as convincing in all that talk that he's telling the truth. Not at all. But did you see the moment where he kept going? He kept answering this long-winded, storytelling way. His lawyer leans over to him, and the mic caught it. That if you don't answer all the next questions with 5 words or less, I will effing kill you. And you see Wexner just start chuckling to himself.
I've never been in court with Jay Quillen, but I can imagine her giving me that advice.
You know what's crazy about him? He's like the largest, probably the single largest benefactor to Ohio State University's athletics.
That right? Yeah.
Well, he's out of Columbus.
The
Express
Corporation
is.
Out of Columbus.
And it's the Ohio State is pushing away from him big time right now.
So just so many different things on our plate today. But I want to ask real quick what I brought up off air. I say I would not, if I was governor of the state, I would not put Sonny Burton to death. I would commute that sentence to life without parole. He'd spend the rest of his life in prison. But what say you two gentlemen?
I agree with you wholeheartedly. It seems like seems like somebody doesn't want to admit that maybe a mistake was made or something needs to be done to correct this. So they just want to kind of let it go and nobody noticed. But thank God somebody brought it to everybody's attention. I got a feeling she'll commute the sentence, but I think she'll need pressure to do it.
I don't see any outcome in reality where you could, in good conscience as a state, go forward with executing after the trigger man was. But that was a federal, not a commutation, but a federal degradation from capital punishment to life. But more importantly, the amount of people he mentioned that were victims, the family members of the victims saying, "Look, this man shouldn't be killed for this." But will the state listen?
I really hope they do. And I do see, I think it'll take some pressure for Governor Ivey, but I think if enough people pressure, she'll suddenly look like the hero.
How do you feel about your security and life here in the state if that would happen? It's like that's a major question mark.
Yeah, and it's
you're right.
Again, as I told Matt Scholes, who's the federal defender who's put this petition in, and who I was very impressed with his presentation.
Very impressed with him.
Getting to know him. I am not against the death penalty in
by
principle.
no means.
I think there are certain crimes that your life is forfeit in principle just for retribution's sake.
I agree with you.
Now, should you have due process, jury of your peers, multiple appeal? Yeah, sure. But I find that this argument that we can just keep everybody locked up, I'm like, yes, you can keep the public safe by just keeping somebody locked up for their entire life, fine. But there is an element to somebody needs to get their just desserts.
Absolutely.
And I've heard the argument, I guess stealing this from Michael Knowles, that the famous Dr. Johnson once said that when a man knows he's going to be hung in a fortnight, it tends to clear the mind.
Sure does.
And so if you want to have somebody truly repent of their ways and realize the error of their ways, there's something about facing a known date when you will be taken from this earth that maybe I should repent of my sins.
I agree.
But I see this argument going two ways, because I'm a guy that if you get death penalty, you shouldn't be here in 5 years. You shouldn't be here in 5 years.
Yeah, and
but I
there's-
see why the
there's an
argument is
argument.
there because of this particular case. In particular, the guy that actually triggered man, you know, his sentence was reduced, but you have this guy that was just participated in it, and he's still going to the death chair. It's not
right.
No.
Yeah, and we're not even arguing against felony murder charges.
No.
I mean, they make a lot of sense to me. So I think do the right thing, Governor.
Yeah.
Please do the right thing.
Well, like we said, I think, and just to finish this, and my thought on it is, this is probably the most sacred responsibility the state has. Your
right.
life in the balance.
Right.
Get it right.
Yeah.
The state does not wield the sword in vain, but sometimes you have to. I can't even imagine, especially now that we're so removed. It's bureaucratic. It's a piece of paper in front of you.
Yeah, it's not a
Can you
person.
imagine, like, you know, a medieval setting where you're not even like, you know, with Henry VIII, he set off with their head, but he never swung the sword himself.
Of course not.
Or, you know, the mob, and I guess the French Revolution since with the guillotine. But if you are actually, say, a king, and when you pass that death sentence, you must swing the sword. And even when you think this is an evil person I am taking out, just the responsibility is something that needs to be taken with that solemnity and true justice in mind.
I can tell you that, unfortunately, I've had the experience of having to do something that is reprehensible as a Christian and ideas and multiple times. And I can tell you that clears your mind too, because even though someone may be trying to do you harm and you take their life, you still struggle with that. And I think the state has this anonymity, this piece of, it's one big machine and a cog, but there's still individuals involved in it. And that's,
Anyway, I appreciate Matt Scholes reaching out to me.
It's good dude.
This part of the program brought to you by Pest Pro Services. You like cockroaches, gentlemen?
Not really.
I like Kafka and the Metamorphosis, but I wouldn't want that to happen.
Wasn't he turned into like a beetle of some sort?
A big cockroach beetle.
Yeah, you wake up one day and you're a beetle, and your family doesn't love you anymore.
It's a good story.
Sounds like it's a metaphor.
Or Japanese anime.
Yeah.
Kaiju 8.
Yeah, my goodness. But cockroaches,
Thanks.
spiders.
No thanks.
You don't want ants in your kitchen.
No.
No thank you.
Don't want them in your pants either.
No, that hurts, especially fire ants.
baby.
You'll take them off.
You don't want fire ants inside or outside. You don't want to deal with wasps and yellow jackets and like those just.
Oh, the silverfish, the termites.
Oh my! Oh, and the termite season in particular. I mean, it can happen any time, but now's the time to at least get an inspection done.
Well, I don't know about this year, but last year we had stink bugs like crazy everywhere.
Yeah, they were
everywhere.
Yeah.
I got those Japanese little fake
those beetles.
They look like ladybugs, but they're not.
They're not. Yep.
So y'all check out Pest Pro Services. You can always learn more online at ppsrivervision.com or search Pest Pro Services on the Book of Faces, or just call them direct 265-9990. That's 265-9990. And when you get in touch with them, be sure to say, hey, Joey, Eddie, Troy, those fellows on the radio sent us, and come on out. I want to see what y'all can do for me. They're great folks, and I love seeing those trucks abound. And I love seeing also the success story that Ashley is just a great person.
Yep.
Let's go to line one. You're on there. Who's this?
I am a Pest Pro customer calling.
Ooh.
Oh, Crawdad. I love that.
Smart man.
Yes, sir. I heard on your story the first time you showed Pest Pro, and I called them, and I've been a happy customer ever since.
Excellent.
Now, they have added on dealing with critters that get in your attic or under your house. There's only one thing that's worse than a critter in your attic that they gonna have to deal with. You know what that is?
What's that?
A dead critter, already dead critter. Because oh my goodness, you get a dead mammal or a snake in your attic, and then you got to deal with that. Better to call Pest Pro first.
Agreed.
Instead of dealing with a dead one.
Amen.
That's all Crawdad has to say today. And eat more Crawdads.
Appreciate you, Crawdad.
See you, Crawdaddy.
See you. 272-9228 if you want to get on the program. You suck the heads, Eddie?
After a few beers, I usually do. I don't raw dog.
He still passed the test, but it was more like a C+ on that one.
Depends on how many beer deep I am.
Oh, no. Actually, it's kind of that briny, seafoody thing.
So we've got a lot of crawdads at our house on the backside of our pond, and we have these 2 barred owls. And I have caught the owls in the day eating the crawdads on the ground.
Yeah.
And so if they do it enough, they will start to get pink on them like a flamingo.
Is that right?
From iodine. And one of them starting to show like a little bit of pink. It's pretty cool.
Yeah.
It's pretty cool.
Oh, that is
Just
cool.
had to share that with you.
Yeah, crawfish.
Oh, you are what you eat.
You are what you eat.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah. That's scary for some.
Yes, it is.
Now, did you see the with all the Epstein stuff? And by the way, I'm looking at Tucker Carlson sat down for an interview with Mike Huckabee.
Oh boy!
And this is going to be one for the
For
history
the ages,
books.
for the
Like I
ages.
got to watch this one, where he asked why is the administration holding millions of files. Huckabee says, "I think you probably got more access to the White House sometimes than I do. You should ask them." Tucker says, "Everyone believes Epstein was a Mossad agent." Huckabee, "I don't think everybody does." Tucker says, "Everyone knows he had contact with, and by the way, not just Israeli intelligence, American intelligence."
Right.
Which he did.
He did. Yeah.
Obviously.
He was a mover shaker.
But then another crazy one, Tucker essentially asked Huckabee, does Israel have the biblical right to take over all the Middle East? And the quote is, "It would be fine if they took it all."
Well, Mike,
All right.
So I have a Mike Huckabee story in Birmingham in spring of 2018 when he was running. I was at the Galleria I was up there for a conference for UPS International Heavy Freight, and I'm in line at the bar to get some. I wanted to get some ice cream and stuff to go take in my room. And Mike Huckabee's team walks in, and Mike's there, and there's only one bartender working, no waiters. So it's kind of chaos.
Yeah.
So Mike gets over there, and I was like, "Mike, good to see you." I said, "His name is Marcus. He will be back in a minute. He's bringing me some food. I will make sure you get fed here in a minute." And it was so cool because he's like, "Oh, okay, all right, thanks." He goes, sit down, and I introduced him to the bartender. I was like, "Well," and my friends go, "Did you know Mike?" I go, "No, never met him before."
And I think Mike would be a great guy to
He's
have a
very
jam
cool.
session
Yeah,
with.
he's
He can
very
play
cool.
the
Yeah, he's
bass
very cool acting,
and also the vitriol that's existed between Mike Huckabee and Tucker Carlson
yeah.
online.
Yep,
sure.
To see him in the same room, and you can tell even as they're laughing with each other. It's like, we need more of that. There's so much, especially online, just this dehumanizing. It's just a little thumbnail and a name. It's not an actual person, human being sitting in front of you. And there's so much of that goes on. So get in the same room, dadgummit, and hash it out and just be honest with one another. So I definitely gonna have to watch that a little later.
Yeah, for sure.
Anyway, quick break, and we'll dive deeper into a few of these things we ran through in this first 30 minutes of this hour.
Want to carry News Talk in your pocket? Download the News Talk 93.1 app from the App Store. Available on iPhone and Android. Never miss a moment. Download now.
Attention River Region business owners. Local counties are now inspecting and enforcing backflow prevention requirements. Headley Plumbing is fully certified to install, repair, and test backflow preventers, helping you stay compliant and avoid costly violations. We've been serving the River Region for decades with dependable professional service you can trust. No membership, no contract, just fair, reliable service. Call Headley Plumbing at 285-3667 or visit headleyplumbing.com. In our business, a flush beats a full house.
Headley Metal Buildings has been your source for quality metal buildings in the River Region since 2007. Carports up to 24 feet wide, RV covers, storage buildings, even a sturdy metal barn up to 54 feet wide. Your structure can be customized, installed on level ground, and comes with a 20-year warranty. Let Headley Metal Buildings help you find the perfect solution. Financing available. Call 285-3667 for details or find Headley Metal Buildings on Facebook.
This is your roving reporter. Today I'm talking with a prospector. That's right, man. I'm prospecting for gold. You dig? No, but it looks like you do. And you know the first thing I'm going to do when I strike it rich? What's that? I'm going to hire David Ernest to be my money man. You mean everyone's favorite asset preservationist? That is correct, man. I'm going to call him up at 833-596-7233. 833-596-SAFE. You know, I've heard a lot of good things things about David Ernest. You know, he's the best money man around with over 40 years of experience. Experience is necessary, especially when you're digging for gold. That's right, man. And I can see that you don't have very much experience. What do you mean, man? Well, you have the little plastic bucket and shovel like a kid would take to the beach. Yeah, man, well, I want to start out small and then kind of pace myself up until I strike it rich. Well, maybe you should call David Ernest first. You think he's got a shovel? Never know till you ask. I dig, man.
Why'd I go to the doctor? Working on the farm, my heart kept skipping a beat. I didn't think much of it, but my daughters made me get checked out. Turns out I have atrial fibrillation, which increases the risk of stroke about 5 times.
Symptoms like irregular heartbeat, heart racing, chest pain, shortness of breath, fatigue, or lightheadedness can come and go. But if it's AFib, the risk of stroke remains. If you have symptoms, contact a doctor.
I'm so glad I did.
Visit notimetowait.com. Sponsored by Bristol-Myers Squibb and Pfizer.
Are you tired of the mainstream media's biased reporting? Do you want to stay informed on the news that really matters to you? Look no further than 1819 News. At 1819 News, we bring you the latest in Alabama news, politics, sports, culture, and more. We've assembled a team of journalists with Alabama values dedicated to the truth and the truth alone. Visit us at 1819news.com today. That's 1819news.com. Subscribe to our newsletter. Honest News, Alabama Values. This hour of news and views is brought to you by our good friends at Alabama Home Mortgage. Alabama Home Mortgage, 567-4223. Visit them on the web at myalabamahomemortgage.com. NMLS number 1586368, an equal housing lender.
Hi, this is Bo Goodson with the Real Estate Minute. Many of the real estate laws have changed recently, and you need to know how this might affect you as a seller or a buyer. As an agent of the seller, the agent owes undivided loyalty and full confidentiality to the seller. The listing agent can recommend repair services and vendors, pricing guidelines, tips to help get your house in selling shape, and negotiate offers and counteroffers for your benefit. A facilitator, which is the new term, cannot suggest a price or counter or recommend anything. They offer very limited services. A buyer agent solely represents a buyer's interest and can recommend mortgage lenders, down payment alternatives, and can suggest an offer price and write an offer. Whether you are selling or buying, you need someone in your corner that's trained to represent their clients. After training over 15,000 agents throughout the state and help create and close thousands of home sales over 4 decades, get the straight information from Bo Goodson at the Goodson Group, 221-2883.
This is Jennifer Pestruccelli, General Sales Manager and co-owner of Blue Water Broadcasting. We're home to 7 radio stations at a rapidly expanding digital marketing platform, and we're looking for our next great sales professional. At Blue Water, you'll build customized campaigns that include radio and targeted digital marketing solutions. You'll prospect new clients, manage your own accounts, and work in a fast-paced, creative environment. Media or digital sales experience is a plus. Send your resume to jobs@bluewaterbroadcasting.com. Blue Water Broadcasting, local folks helping local business.
This hour of news and views is brought to you by our good friends at Alabama Home Mortgage. Alabama Home Mortgage, 567-4223. Visit them on the web at myalabamahomemortgage.com. NMLS number 1586368, an equal housing lender.
Rich Thomas Weather is brought to you by Wiley Sanders Truck Lines.
Go to work for a family that puts God and family first. Wiley Sanders is looking for experienced dump truck drivers. Call them today, 855-777-9785. Drive for Wiley Sanders Truck Lines and be part of the family.
Rich Thomas Weather.
Well, hi, everybody. We continue to enjoy this little spring preview with a high temperature today in the upper 70s, maybe teasing 80 degrees. A little breezy with the risk of a few spotty showers, maybe even a thunderstorm somewhere in the area today and tonight. Tonight's low 64. Then on Saturday, as a cold front approaches, the chance of showers and thunderstorms will be a little higher, maybe even a few strong to severe storms with a high 75 to 77 Saturday. Much cooler Sunday. Breezy with a high in the mid-50s. Down to 30 on Sunday night, and Monday's high may not make it to 50. I think the coldest night will be Monday night with lows in the mid-20s. Get ready for a big weekend change from the Blue Water Weather Center. This is Rich Thomas.
Live, local talk. The River Region's most trusted voice for news and opinion. News Talk 93.1 FM WACV.
Sorry, folks. Got talking off air. And before we jump back into any of the actual issues here, I don't know if Troy knows about our plans to make you eternal for especially the summer of 2026.
What?
Oh, yeah. Yes,
What's going
I
on?
played that for the wife the other night.
What'd she think?
She actually enjoyed it more than I thought she would.
And I'm going to have to make a song for you because I've made a song for this fella. It's called...
I should have used that as my entry music yesterday, those closings.
Yeah.
Oh, that would have made
It's
a statement.
called Eddie Bader Dance Party.
Nice. Glow sticks.
Dance party.
Eddie Bader.
It's a jam, man.
What was that, 124, 126 beats, man?
That's AI.
Yeah. Typical house.
I dig it.
Yeah, no, and I think we're gonna have to make this an
We
actual
had
event.
Samansky dancing to it, so yeah.
Yeah, we're gonna have to make it an actual.
I like
event.
this. I like this.
Yeah.
If you were going to do one for me, it would probably need to involve AKV.
That's
it's
exactly
definitely
what I was
one of the
metal
main
something.
Maybe
topics
heavy
here.
metal, but I was almost thinking like a rebel outlaw country.
Oh,
What
Rebel
do you
Country.
need?
Let's get Jamie Johnson to do it. We'll be all right.
KV.
Marshall Tucker Band.
My
we'll come up
dog's
with
dead.
something.
Now I'm going to kill somebody.
Yeah, full John Wick. By the way, this is how crazy AI is getting. I saw somebody using the Seed Dance 2.0, where they recreated John Wick, but it's not somebody's dog that gets killed. It starts with like a woman with her cat in like the bedroom, and the cat's laying on her, and she hears somebody at the door, and there's a scuffle, and then the cat finds her dead, and then it goes to. You killed whose person? And so the cat is John Wick, and the cat just gets revenge like crazy.
That would be very cat-like.
Yeah, it would be.
Oh, yeah.
So weirdness all over this wild world of ours.
If your cat could text you, what do you think it would say?
It wouldn't.
It wouldn't
It
text
wouldn't.
you. That's
It
absolutely
wouldn't. It
right.
would not
It would
text
never
you.
text you. It's too cool.
I'm hungry.
I'm hungry.
Yeah. Where are you?
Yeah, I'm hungry.
I've seen the videos
Hey, do you know there are birds outside?
Yeah.
out the window. But I've seen the videos where the people will literally have a timer for the cat food, and the cat just lays there all day, and just taps on it, waits for the
Yeah, that is hilarious.
So our cat,
or the bowl too,
just lay there.
When
Come
you
on.
guys come over, you'll like my cat. His name is Uther Pendragon III. He's 23 pounds,
Oh, good
tiger
Lord.
tabby. He lives
that's a big one.
outside, and he comes in. And guys, let me tell you something. He's a bad motor scooter.
I bet, man.
He's like a small lynx.
Yeah.
Yeah,
He's got
those
his
big one.
cuffs.
Yeah,
He's
when
like-
they get to a little bit of the wild back,
he's got
in
his
them,
he's got his gonads.
Yeah.
That's why he's just
He's the man.
they're almost like the perfcally designed predator.
Yeah, they're
listen,
ninjas, man. They're little ninjas.
When I think I shared with you Padre Pio, there's several Franciscan monks that believe that was God's paramount creation, that it was perfect for what it did and how it did it, and
Yeah.
God made it just perfect in everything they do.
Yeah, and of course the Egyptians had a great appreciation.
Right.
You ever read Camille Paglia on,
Yes.
on cat? Yeah, and she nailed it. She goes, they're the only animal that has a sense of profile, like a sense of self-image, comparable to like a fashion model or a person.
Well, they're always looking down on you, always judging.
Right. And clean themselves. Like they know what they look like in the mirror.
Yes. Okay, so when a cat is cleaning himself, if you ever want to really irritate him, in the middle of it, just pet where he just cleaned. He will stop and look at you and then go back at it again. Oh, he gets so mad.
You know what? They said they studied the neuro pathways, I think, at the University of, I think it was Cornell that did it, the veterinary department. They said that their brain is more akin to a human than a dog's is to a human.
that right?
Because they are not pack creatures. They are definitely individualistic, and they recognize, like you said, who they are. Cool.
Yeah.
I dig cats, man.
Me too. 272-9228 if you want to get in on the conversation about cats. But I want to cover this story real quick. It's top trending story at 1819 News
All right.
having to do with Montgomery here.
Oh, the gump.
Okay.
A Montgomery police vehicle crashed into a Montgomery Academy student's vehicle on Wednesday.
Wow.
Yeah, man.
What happened?
But Montgomery Academy head of school John McWilliams said the police vehicle struck the vehicle of a student as the student was leaving the parking lot. Here's what McWilliams wrote in an email to parents on Wednesday, saying, quote, I am writing this evening to provide you all with more information about the circumstances surrounding the car accident that happened this afternoon in front of the Vaughn Road campus. A police vehicle en route to a call struck the vehicle of one of our students as the student was exiting the parking lot. As our text message alert indicated, thankfully everyone involved in the accident was okay, but it was still a very scary situation for our students, faculty, and parents as they watched the incident unfold and its aftermath. In addition, there were concerning reports that some heard gunshots in the area that seemed to explain why the officer was in the immediate vicinity of our campus at the time. These reports warranted our investigating what happened so we could present the facts to all of you. He continues, again, this is ahead of MA. I spoke personally with Chief Grayboys from the Montgomery Police Department this evening. He was able to share with me that officers in the area were responding to a report that there have been shots fired between two vehicles driving near the intersection of Carter Hill and Zelda Road.
That's surprising.
Imagine that.
I just want to stop there because I used to live in an
right
apartment
there,
complex on Zelda Road. I often, like when I lived in Cloverdale, like you're always at that intersection.
Sure.
Go to the cigar shop at that intersection.
Right.
And it's just like, yes, that's like literally right next to Montgomery Academy. Like that, is that now just the norm in Midtown Montgomery?
I hope not, because we've got a new high school going on the boulevard.
It's moving, so, yeah.
I don't know how that's going to go. You know, there's a big lake in front of that one on the boulevard.
What are we talking about?
That I can't think of the Purvis High School, I believe it is, that they're building.
Oh, okay.
At first, I thought it was just somebody hit a sinkhole, but it looks like it's going to be a couple acre lake in front of that school. It'll look beautiful.
Yes, they'll have ducks.
Well, I kind of thought of a wildlife program. I really did.
Geese.
Let's hope it's not geese.
Yeah,
Yes,
they're
no
terrible.
more geese, please.
They're
It's like having a pack of Rottweilers.
I don't know what our deal is today. Let's get back to the story. Cats, ducks, geese, squirrel. By the time.
What? Where?
This is McWilliams of MA continuing. By the time that the officers arrived on the scene, they were unable to identify any victims, and the vehicles were no longer in the area. Well, damn. He said that MPD, this is Chief Grayboy, said MPD is continuing to investigate the situation. He would let me know if there's any additional information the school needed to know. He also assured me that if officers at the scene had believed there had been an immediate threat to our students or to our campus, the officers would have instructed our students, faculty, and administrators to take cover. Our security officer on the Vaughn Road campus this afternoon responded immediately to the situation, checked on the occupants of the vehicles, and assisted with traffic control until MPD established full control of the accident scene. When I learned of reports of individuals hearing shots prior to the crash, I immediately checked with our SRO, and he had not heard anything about the report in the radio traffic, nor had MPD informed him of anything related to possible gunfire. I was not able to confirm any official information about the report of shots in the area until this evening. Obviously, any incident like this in the area surrounding our campus is very concerning. Student safety is our highest priority. While there is no indication that the school was a target in the incident that occurred, we will ensure that our security officers are fully briefed on what happened in the days to come, and we'll ask them to increase their vigilance around campus.
Yeah.
No, and this is what I mean. I said it the other day, like, I've gone about most of my life in Montgomery, especially that part of town.
Yeah.
Not thinking thing. Like in particular that Chevron gas station. You stop at it all the time because it's on the way to work. And I stopped going there.
Yeah.
Because I just started to notice, like, most of the time you'll probably be all right.
Most of the time.
Most of the time.
All it takes
99 times out of 100.
Right.
Maybe even 999 times out of 1,000 with that one time.
You don't want to be there.
I don't have to deal with that.
Yep. Yep.
Well, unless I'm riding with this guy here, then we'll be okay.
They should fear me.
AKV.
I'm just telling you, man. Listen, there's zero tolerance for jackassery.
I'm well aware, and I love it. Anyway, 272-9228. This part of the program brought to you by Montgomery Men's Health. That's what we need.
Yeah. We need more testosterone.
We definitely need more testosterone in this world. It's done me a world of difference. In fact, I'll just be straight up. I am a client there at Montgomery Men's Health for reasons I'm not quite ready to share with the public. Let's just say about past sins that really hurt me. When I went in there the first time years ago, they say, "Hey, you want to just get tested because you're going to be talking about us?" I'm like, "Sure." And
sure enough,
they came back into the room like they had seen a ghost, and they're like, "You okay?"
200, 230.
Oh yeah,
yeah. That's what happens.
You okay? And I'm like, well, I always feel like crap. I just learned how to power through. Like, I go work out. That seems to help a little bit. And, they're like, no, man. So
you're really low.
They got me on a particular treatment.
Yep.
And it has made a world of difference.
Yes, I'm sure it has.
And I will always appreciate this because there is a schedule of treatments. So here's in particular my issues where I did feel like crap all the time. Like it wasn't necessarily bedroom confidence slipping, though that can slip when you have low T. But like waistline creep, I definitely felt. I'm like, I'm working out all this. Like, what is going on here?
Yeah.
And you just don't want to feel that way. So Montgomery Men's Health, powered by Men's Pro, they're a men's performance clinic serving us here in Montgomery, Alabama. They've been doing it for several years now, and they have created spectacular results for not just me, but so many men. So y'all check them out today. Make an appointment at 440-3663. Again, call them at 440-3663, or you can book online in under 30 seconds at MontgomeryMen'sHealth.com. It's Montgomery Men's Health for every man in every season of life. Let's go to David. Hey, David.
Hey, guys. How are you?
Pretty good. How you doing, Dave?
I got a great cat story.
Good.
My wife and I, we were out walking our 2 dogs, and this was like late October, and one of my dogs, I let her off leash, and she went running to the middle of an empty lot and was sitting there just sniffing at a spot, and I come walking over there, and there was a kitten, couldn't have been 2-3 weeks old, sitting there by itself, and so we took it to the vet. You know, they verified it was about 3 weeks old, and so we adopted her, and
that's cool.
She was raised with our 2 dogs, acted like a dog, had nothing to do with other cats.
Yep, that's funny.
Despised other cats, and this is no lie, she would go out hunting and would catch. She weighed about 12 pounds. Would catch full-grown squirrels.
I believe it.
And eat them, everything but the tail.
I believe it.
Whoa.
Think about that at 12 pounds. Mine's 23, but that's a lot of AKV and horsepower and the size of an animal, man.
Cat's a killing machine, man.
Hey, I would watch her. She would catch. I saw her one time catch one.
Yeah.
And she was sitting there munching on the skull, crushing it.
Yeah, like jerky.
And I'm sitting there thinking to myself, that's one cat I would not want to mess with.
No. Have you ever seen some of the videos where cats actually running off brown bears and black bears and like people's It's amazing. They have the thing is, a cat has no fear and it's always ready for a fight. It's always ready for a fight.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I've seen videos from out in California where they've had like cougars get in the yard. Yeah, and they'll run them off. I mean, scare a cougar to death.
Or I've seen there's a classic one where it's a cat like pawing and like hitting at and trying to intimidate an alligator. And the gator just backs up.
I did see that. I saw that.
Like hits the gator right on the nose and the gator backs up into the water.
It was like at a gator park. Yeah, I saw that. Yeah. That's a great story.
Cats are like domestic cats are like the honey badgers of the feline.
Yeah. How old is this cat?
She just passed away 2 years ago.
I'm sorry.
She was 19.
Wow. She lived a good life, man.
She did live a good life.
Lived a great life.
Now the squirrels have made a comeback. We got to find another one.
Yeah, exactly. That's the reason I bought a BB gun.
There you go. That'll work.
Well,
take care, guys.
Appreciate
it. That's great.
And before we hit this break, this part of the program brought to you by Alabama Home Mortgage.
Yeah.
And they're ready to help you out there in so many ways. And folks, first off, they're local. Don't waste your time with online mortgage calculators or these fly-by-night like online companies or, God forbid, the flashy mailers or spam calls or 1-800-lenders. Ugh.
No thanks.
Though I did catch my grandfather talking to one of those the other day. I'm like, what are you doing? He goes, I'm just having fun.
I'm just having fun.
There you go. Okay.
I'm like, don't.
Okay.
I've gotten to know this guy. He's called me a few times. I'm like, fair enough. Don't do that. Go with a great local mortgage broker like Alabama Home Mortgage. And, the biggest mistake you can make is speculating about whether or not you can buy. Don't let myths keep you on the sidelines. There are many buyers. Many buyers need far less saved than they think to put money down. And they're also ready to serve multiple states. So maybe you want to get a place in Florida.
Or maybe the Carolinas. Maybe Georgia.
But Georgia, Florida, Tennessee, and, of course, Alabama being Alabama Home Mortgage. So, again, whether you're looking to buy a home or refinance that current home.
Yep.
And especially if you're a veteran, they specialize in helping you take care of getting these benefits. Things like no down payment purchases, 100% cash out refinances for veterans. So I'll get in touch with Alabama Home Mortgage today. That's 567-4223, 567-4223, or you can always apply online at myalabamahomemortgage.com. There is a difference in mortgage companies. Let Kim and Madeline prove that to you today. NMLS number 1586368, an equal housing lender.
He may not know whether he's coming or going, but whether you're going to work or coming home, Greg Budell is there. Mornings 6 till 9 and afternoons 3 till 6. Only on News Talk 93.1 FM WACV.
You want your floors to scream new, fresh, and stylish. But if yours are groaning, tired, old, and outdated, you're in luck. Because at Prattville Carpet, you can revitalize your floors while you save on the best brands available with perfect and professional installation and Prattville's unbeatable lifetime warranty.
Hi, I'm Ray Bowles from Prattville Carpet. If you're looking for carpet, hardwood, laminate, vinyl plank, or ceramic tile, call us today for your free measurement.
Start shopping for your floors right now at PrattvilleCarpet.com.
Prattville Carpet, we're more than just carpet.
Hello everyone, Robbie Pelt with Capital City Roofing. If you think about it, your home is your biggest investment in life. Your roof covers your home, so why jeopardize your biggest investment on a roofer you don't know anything about when you can deal with a reputable roofing company like Capital City Roofing? We have an A+ Better business rating and the best manufacturers and workmanship warranties available. We do all residential and commercial roofing applications that are certified through the manufacturer to ensure you get the best material and workmanship money can buy. We also have your project in our best interest before and after construction has been done. Don't hesitate to call us if you have any roofing issues or questions. We will match any of our competitors' price and give you the same great workmanship warranty. We also give free estimates. Give us a call today and let us show you the difference. 277-3311. That's 277-3311. Or you can check us out on the web at www.capitalcityroofing.com. Capital City Roofing. We capitalize the roofing industry.
This hour of news and views is brought to you by our good friends at Alabama Home Mortgage. Alabama Home Mortgage, 567-4223. Visit them on the web at myalabamahomemortgage.com. NMLS number 1586368, an equal housing lender.
The River Region's News Talk station. News Talk 93.1 WACV. News Talk 93.1.
Joey Clark.
Welcome back. Now, to close out this hour, let's do a little history lesson.
Okay.
Because have you ever heard of a thing called slavery?
I'm familiar with it.
It still exists today.
Yeah.
It does? I thought...
Yeah, you're not married? Oh, you're not married.
Well,
they take your passports if you're a Filipino in the Middle East and you never leave. I'm just saying.
But so y'all have heard of it. Like people have talked about this. Like they've taught this in schools and stuff.
Yep.
Like they're still teaching it in schools.
They're still teaching it.
Right.
Lay it on us.
All this other stuff. Well, you want to know how it ended for most of the West? You might already know it, but
kind of thought I did.
You know, AI is helping us with videos now and helping us with the music and all sorts of other stuff. Well, here's a AI-produced video on the history of how the empire,
the British Empire,
ended slavery.
Britain took on 50 nations, African kingdoms, Arab sultanates, not for land, not for gold, to end the slave trade. In 1807, Britain banned the slave trade. Other nations refused to stop. So Britain went after every single one of them, sent the Royal Navy to patrol 3,000 miles of African coast. They captured 1,600 slave ships, freed 150,000 people. One ship, HMS Black Joke, captured 11 slave ships in a single year. It had been a slave ship itself. Diplomats negotiated treaty after treaty across the continent. In Zanzibar, the Sultan was told, end the trade or face the Navy. 11 agreements in 40 years. They never stopped pushing. Rulers who refused were replaced. King Kosoko of Lagos refused to end the trade. Britain bombarded the port, deposed him, and the slave market closed. British sailors died for this. 1,600 of them. Malaria, yellow fever. They called it the white man's grave, and new sailors came anyway. Back home, taxpayers paid for all of it, £20 million, 40% of the entire treasury. The government didn't finish paying it off until 2015. You or your parents were still paying for it. It outlasted the empire itself. So who started all of this? Not kings, not parliament, you. In 1792, ordinary British people signed petitions. 400,000 signatures in a single year. 300,000 families boycotted slave-grown sugar. 1 in 8 men put their name on paper. They forced Parliament to act. And everything you just saw happened because of it. This is what we've always done. Your ancestors changed the world, and nobody told you. When people remember their own power, they start using it. This is your history. Take it back. If you think this should be taught, help us reach more people. proudofus.co.uk/support. Be part of us. Be proud of us.
Yeah. That's total garbage, is what that is.
Yeah, you think so?
I think it is. I think it's total garbage. British liberalism after the ending of after the Victorian era is what ushered in this new malaise of white man's guilt and all this stuff. And it's garbage, total garbage in my mind.
Yeah, I don't care. It's a bunch of crap.
No, I thought it was like a celebration of the empire and Wilberforce and.
Well, Wilberforce is one another. But we know that British modern liberalism has ushered in this era of self-flagellation, of Calvinistic punishment for our sins.
Yep.
And
but the point of that video is stop flagellating yourself and celebrate that actually we're the ones that ended this.
Oh, okay. Well,
as opposed to the ones who perpetuated this.
I got you.
Okay.
I see it as propaganda is what I see it as, but that's just me.
Anyway, we'll be right back.
Broadcasting from the Riverside Chevrolet Master Control Center, this is WACV Cusada, News Talk 93.1 FM. When it's Chevy, it's Riverside.
With SRN News, I'm Bob Agnew in Washington. President Trump is reacting to news today that the Supreme Court has struck down some of his tariffs and what he imposed under an emergency order. He says that he has the right to do that. Today's decision centers on those imposed under emergency powers law, including the broad reciprocal tariffs he levied on many other countries. A defeat at the state level for Democrats, a Virginia judge temporarily blocking Democrats' plans to hold an April referendum on their new congressional maps. It could seriously impact the midterm elections. That decision threatens Democrats' push for more U.S. House seats. On Thursday, a circuit court judge granted a temporary restraining order, one that was sought by Republicans in that case. America's gross domestic product increased at a rate of 1.4 annual rate in the fourth quarter, down from 4.4% growth July through September. This is SRN News.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm, and Chuck McDowell, definitely not an attorney. This is Chuck. Do you feel stupid for buying a timeshare? Don't. It's not your fault. You were most likely told you could rent it, and it was a great financial investment. And the deal was available today only. If this happened to you, contact your resort or Wesley Financial Group for help today.
Call Wesley now for your free exit information kit. 800-242-3131. 800-242-3131.
My name is Whitney Allen, and I'm a widow. After my husband died, the last thing I wanted to think about was money. Ethos made it affordable to get life insurance. Signing up was fast and 100% online. I knew that I could pay our mortgage and have food in the fridge. I could focus on my kids. No one ever tells you how much you're going to depend on that policy. I am so grateful we had coverage.
Get your free quote at ethos.com/save. That's ethos.com/save. Paid spokesperson. Time spent on application may vary. Online health questions required.
Rich Thomas Weather is brought to you by McPhillip Schimbaum.
My name is Aaron Luck, a partner with the law firm of McPhillip Schimbaum. If you or someone in your family has been seriously injured by the negligence of someone else, call me directly. 262-1911.
Rich Thomas Weather.
Well, hi, everybody. We continue to enjoy this little spring preview with a high temperature today in the upper 70s, maybe teasing 80 degrees. A little breezy with the risk of a few spotty showers, maybe even a thunderstorm somewhere in the area today and tonight. Tonight's low 64. Then on Saturday, as a cold front approaches, the chance of showers and thunderstorms will be a little higher. Maybe even a few strong to severe storms with a high 75 to 77 Saturday. Much cooler Sunday. Breezy with a high in the mid-50s. Down to 30 on Sunday night, and Monday's high may not make it to 50. I think the coldest night will be Monday night with lows in the mid-20s. Get ready for a big weekend change from the Blue Water Weather Center. This is Rich Thomas.
CB&S Bank, serving families and communities since 1906. Proud to be named 16th best performing bank nationally in their asset category by American Banker. Learn more at cbsbank.com. CB&S Bank, member FDIC, equal housing lender.
Let's go to the phones, folks, and talk to Michael Cohen with Cohen's Electronics and Appliances. Hey, Michael, how you doing?
I'm doing great.
Good to hear from you today. And what's the score there at Cohen's today?
It's like 100 to zip.
Wow.
I mean,
kicking butt and taking names.
twice in 1 week.
That's right.
That's great. How do you do it?
I'm squeezing them in as I can, Michael. It's a tough life.
Well, I mean, I don't know if he's blackmailing you or something. He must have some pictures or something.
Wait.
He's got this dance song that he knows I love hearing.
Hold on. Eddie, phrasing. You started today by passing the test. Then you barely passed the next test with a C+. And then you just said, I'm squeezing them in whenever I can.
Squeeze them in whenever I can.
What is wrong with you?
Yeah, that's what I'm doing. That's what I'm doing. I'm squeezing it in whenever I can.
We don't have enough time to talk about everything that's wrong.
You are correct.
It's a different show.
It would
It's
require
a whole different show.
psychiatrists for sure.
Goodness gracious.
So how are you guys kicking butt today, Michael?
Man, I tell you, we've, I'm always so enamored and blessed with the customers that call us up, say, I need a blank, and it could be a washing machine, it could be a TV. What do you have, and when can you send it out?
Yep.
And that confidence, it just warms my heart that they have that confidence in us to take care of them. And of course, it's because we've done it many times before.
Mm-hmm.
A couple of weeks ago, I had somebody that left a check for us, left the door unlocked. The check was blank, so just fill it out with whatever it is.
Wow, that's trust, buddy.
And go for it.
Yeah.
I mean that's some big stuff for us.
Huge.
Yes. And everything that we try to do here, we're not just trying to move a box. We want to get the right product for the right customer.
Correct.
Because there's not a one size that fits all. And you have to ask questions, and the customer has to be engaged so that you can help them make the right choice for whatever they're looking for.
There you go. And it also, I mean, y'all aren't going to be beat on price, and you just mentioned the service as the sale's going on before the sale, but service after the sale continues. And this is a big reason why so many generations of families have been coming back to Cohen.
Yeah, and we're fortunate for that. But the other thing that we've noticed is that most of our customers that come here are looking for the better product. They're not looking for the average or the entry level of whatever it is.
Right.
They want the better model that's going to do it better and make them feel better and everything. So, we're fortunate that everybody does want the good stuff.
Folks, get on by there. Get the good stuff at 2515 Eastern Boulevard here in Montgomery. They're open 9 to 6 Monday through Friday, 9 to 4 on Saturdays. And find Michael and be like, hey, I heard you on that radio show with Joey, Eddie, and Troy.
Yep, that's the day you bought a lottery ticket. Y'all have a great weekend.
You too, Michael. See you, brother.
Bye.
Fitting them in there.
Squeezing them in, baby.
Squeezing them in whenever you can. Yep. And real quick, we got a cross purposes there, Troy, on that video.
What?
You thought
I owe you an apology. I was wrong. I thought they said, and why was there slavery? Because of you. And I thought, what? But what they said was,
why did it end?
Right. Because of you. You got boycotted. You did what you wanted to do. So I stand corrected. I still don't like the idea of AI trying to give me a moral journey. So that's all. But other than that, it stands pretty good.
Yeah. I just think it'd be nice if the British people in particular, it's one thing for Americans, but the British people in particular maybe stopped with the self-flagellation. Stopped with, like, we're so bad and all the sins we committed. It's like, that was a pretty awesome thing y'all did.
Not in their blood, though, man.
Anyway.
They got to repent some more.
Yeah, they're a little Frenchy.
We'll be right back.
1819 News.
U.S. Senator Tommy Tuberville is blaming a recent shooting in Rhode Island at a hockey game on the trend to indulge people's delusions. Tuberville was referring to the shooter, who was a man seeking to transition into a woman, who went to a hockey game and shot his ex-wife and adult son. Tuberville said that society right now is doing zero favors in allowing transgenders to indulge their delusions that they can actually change their gender, rather than encouraging them to seek help to their mental struggles. Tuberville said he hopes it's not going to take more mass shootings by unstable people to wake Americans up to this issue. I'll be back with more Alabama stories after this.
Where I was living was not a great place to live anymore. I began to pray for a place to go, praying for all of these things that a 9-year-old would want. I wanted horses, big house with a bunch of people my age. I wanted parents. I wanted a mom and a dad. Before I even prayed it, the Lord had already answered my prayer with the Big Oak Ranch. Who would that 9-year-old be if she never came to the Big Oak Ranch? I would be trying to fight for survival instead of fighting to break a cycle.
Big Oak Ranch, a Christian home for children needing a chance.
The Enterprise Police Chief Michael Moore held another press conference on Thursday to update the public on the search for missing 2-year-old Genesis Reed.
We will search anywhere leads take us. If a lead gives us North Alabama, we have crews and we have teams and we have full support of the whole state of Alabama, law enforcement agencies, private agencies, FBI, U.S. Marshals, fire departments throughout the state, rescue squads throughout the state. Anybody that would help us, we have support. We just need the leads of where we can go next.
I'm Andrea Tice.
For more news affecting Alabamians, go to 1819news.com. And while you're there, subscribe to the daily newsletter.
This hour of News and Views is brought to you by our good friends at Cole Plumbing, 279-8919. Cole Plumbing is number 1 in the number 2 business. You don't have to dig a hole. They have proprietary pipelining technology. Ask them about their tankless water heaters. Remember, when you have trouble with your bowl, call on Cole.
2026 marks 60 years that hope has had a home in Alabama. At the Alabama Sheriff's Youth Ranches, children who've lost everything through no fault of their own have found something priceless. A safe place to live, a loving Christian family, and the chance to simply be kids again. Here, boys and girls grow up surrounded by care, guidance, and faith, learning right from wrong, learning responsibility, learning they are valued and that their lives have purpose. As the Alabama Sheriffs have believed for 6 decades, it's easier to build boys and girls than to repair men and women. These former ranchers are now teachers, parents, business owners, and leaders, living proof that love, structure, and faith can change a life forever. As the Alabama Sheriff's Youth Ranches celebrate 60 years of serving Alabama's children, you can help ensure the next child has the same chance. Learn how you can make a difference at alabamasheriffsyouthranches.org. 60 years of building lives, and we're just getting started.
The views and opinions of the following program are solely those of the host and other contributors. These do not necessarily represent those of Liberty Acquisitions 825, Blue Water Broadcasting, its management, staff, or any advertisers. It's time for Montgomery's conversational radio show. It's News and Views on News Talk 93.1 FM. To join the conversation, call 272-9228.
Joey Clark.
Welcome back. Final hour of the program here. I'm your host, Joey Clark. Eddie Bader and Troy Carrico in the studio. And how about, let's give up the floor here.
All
because I got an early preview of it. Troy, and this will come out on Sunday?
Sunday, that's what Annie said. She thinks it's fitting for Sunday, so I said, okay.
This is your latest piece of writing, your latest op-ed, and you discovered a particular story that I did not know.
Well, and I have to keep up with you, Joey, because you continue to pump out these really seminal, reflective pieces on our faith. And I'm surprised you hadn't heard of it. And to be honest with you, I had heard of it, but I didn't know the whole story. And it's a really good story, so I'll get into it. For our faith in the way of the sword, brothers and sisters in Christ, warriors of the faith, lend me your ears. Today I call upon you to heed the timeless valor of the 40 martyrs of Sebaste. Let their story ignite the firebrand spirit within all of us as we charge forth to champion a new era, Pax Christendom and Pax Americana. In the biting cold of 320 AD, Emperor Licinius decreed that all Roman soldiers must renounce Christ and bow to pagan idols. The edict thundered down to the 12th Fulminati Legion, the thundering legion of Sebaste stationed in Sebaste. 40 Christian legionnaires, steadfast in their allegiance to the one true king, refused the edict. They endured savage beatings and tortures, their bodies broken, but their spirits unbreakable. In vengeful fury, the comrades stripped them naked and marched them onto a frozen lake where death's icy sting awaited. On the shore, a roaring fire beckoned with warm baths and feast, a devil's temptation to apostatize. Yet these 40 prayed, sang hymns to the heavens, and held firm. However, one faltered, fleeing to the fires, leaving 39. But what is this? Behold a miracle. A centurion named Agricola, witnessing their unshakable faith, stripped off his own armor, weapons, and kit, and he confessed for Christ, joining them on the ice, restoring their number to 40. By dawn, their frozen bodies lay as eternal testaments to faithful resistance, etched forever in history's annals. Well, what courage is this? What martial valor in the face of the empire's wrath? These were not mere men. They were Christ's shock troops, embodying the resolute spirit we must reclaim today in our modern coliseum of cultural decay, where godless elites peddle moral relativism, attack the family, and persecute the faithful through cancel culture and legal sieges. We too face the frozen lake. Big tech censors our voices, schools indoctrinate our children with anti-Christian ideologies, and governments encroach on our God-given rights. But fear not, as Matthew 10:26-33 declares, so have no fear of them, for nothing is covered that will not be revealed. Do not fear those who kill the body but cannot kill the spirit. Fear not, therefore you are more valuable than many sparrows. This fearlessness, this intrepidness is what we need now more than ever. We must emulate the martyrs' stand. Praise God for their example. In this hour, Christendom should arise. It's time to forge Pax Christendom and Americana for a new world order where Christ's peace reigns supreme, not through imperial conquest, but through spiritual dominion and American exceptionalism. Imagine it. A revitalized America, rooted in evangelical Christian values, leading the globe in liberty, justice, and evangelicism. No more appeasing the pagans of progressivism. No more retreating from the battlefields of ideas. We must reclaim our institutions, our homes, our churches, our schools, our courts, and the halls of power with the same martial discipline of the 40 martyrs. Let us arm ourselves with prayer, scripture, and action. Vote with conviction. Speak boldly in the public square and disciple to the next generation. Support independent voices that rally the righteous at outlets like 1819 News, where truth cuts like a sharpened blade. In this Pax Christendom, America becomes a shining city on the hill. Think Cincinnatius. Exporting not just democracy, but the gospel's transformative power. We shall dismantle the frozen lakes of tyranny, such as abortion mills, gender confusion propaganda, socialist encroachments, and replace them with fires of revival. Have no fear. As the martyrs sang on the ice, let us proclaim from the housetops, Christ is King. Deny him before men, and he denies you before the Father. But acknowledge him, and eternal glory awaits. Warriors, let us move forward to meet the enemy, not with swords, rather they be AR platforms, but with the sword of the Spirit. In the name of the 40 martyrs, charge ahead. Pax Christendom and Americana awaits our victories. Onward, Christian soldiers. May we now have the faith and courage of those 40 martyrs of Sebaste. Let us go forth with a resolute spirit and a discerning mind against the forces of evil and darkness. Let us move forward to meet the enemy with vigor. For the name of the grace of the Lord, for the home of the holy, for our faith in the way of the sword, may we give our lives so boldly.
Hear, hear.
It's a very powerful story.
Hear, hear. Yeah, and I think there is this revival going on. I would say have hope, though, that I'll put it to you this way. Yeah. Like, I was watching this interesting debate. It was like Tom Holland. It was held 2 weeks ago. Tom Holland, the historian, British historian, who's still not a believer, but he wrote a fantastic book called Dominion. And it's about how the West is created by Christianity. And he said there's nobody more Christian, culturally Christian, than a secular atheist or humanist. Like, you would not exist without Christianity, is his point.
True.
And so when we look at how frustrating, in particular, progressives can be, we have to keep in mind that they are estranged brothers and sisters.
They are.
And there's there are excesses of, I think, on the right, and I think there will always be excesses of political authority. That's just one of the major temptations. But of late, I feel, as frustrated as I can get. The Epstein thing in particular can make you just go into dark corners of the mind. I have this overwhelming hope that it won't necessarily require the same sort of martial spirit as those 40.
Probably not.
That, in fact, there are a lot of folks ready to come back into the fold. And if we sow the seeds of that revival, and sometimes it will be in public, in a way where your voice is raised high. I always keep going back to what Marco Rubio did at Charlie Kirk's memorial. Truly an amazing summation of salvation history from Genesis to Revelation. What a moment. But then there will, of course, be those times where you quietly are discipling to one another, that you are quietly looking out for one another. Even that person, you might not even talk to them directly, you just pray for them. I think there is something to the pride that we should have, a good pride, but also remind ourselves of the humility that we should go about doing this.
I think you hit the thing here is this. I used to believe that the problem was with the institution of the church. It's really with the flock. We have a ministry every day, Joey. Right now you have a ministry on this air. We have a chance to bring others into Christ by our actions and by our they will know us by our acts and our deeds. And you're right. And I think that there is a revival of that, particularly in the youth, that seems that they're searching for something more spiritually.
Absolutely. Yeah, there's a sense of, at least I feel it as a 30-something-year-old. I don't know if y'all feel it, to where it's like I don't know. It's like maybe it's just getting older. Like you've seen the movies, you've seen the show. Like, and there are new stuff that come around and make me laugh, or there are things that'll fascinate me, and hopefully that won't completely go away. But it's kind of like there's got to be something more than just like the material day-to-day rat race. And even if you're enjoying yourself, you like your work or you like your time off, and there has to be something more there. And I worry that so many folks went to politics as that means of that filling that hole, that God-shaped hole, and it doesn't.
It's very hollow. Yeah.
It doesn't get to that point. So I appreciate your piece a great deal, and I did not know that story.
I did it thinking about you. Kind of was an impetus for it, because I was telling Robin, I said, Joey's really been hitting these really good personal introspective pieces about his faith, but when I read about this, and I had mentioned it to you in the past, and I didn't know you didn't really latch at the time onto it, so I figured it was worth looking into, and I read it, and it was much more compelling as I went through it. I felt very, very ashamed that I want to have that faith too, and I think that I do.
Amen.
But like I said, the difference between them and you and I would have fought dying against them before I'd go to the lake in the name of Christ. Take up the sword.
272-9228. It's 334-272-9228. Speaking of faith, I haven't read it yet. State Senator Larry Stutz has a piece out at 1819 News saying, Alabama's prisons need oversight and reform. My faith calls me to say so.
Wow.
Amen, Larry.
Amen. Mm-hmm.
And without even reading it, he's right. Just having a cursory familiarity with the Alabama prison system, it is
terrible.
Yeah. In some of the stories, like I get the yearning for justice. We've talked about it ourselves, but at a certain point, you go, we can't be responsible for this sort of system.
Absolutely.
Like really, really crazy how I think past, and it would be past generations in this case, past administrations, and that let us get to this point. So I appreciate that more and more folks indeed are appealing to their faith. I mean, and you might Eddie and I have these conversations, and Eddie is right, is quieter about this. But even you, when I played you that James Tallarico clip the other day, you're like, he doesn't believe.
Yeah.
Like,
obvious.
Like,
charlatan.
You can kind of just see these folks like, what are you even going about this? But at least the ball has been moved into, this is the argument being made by Democrats. They kind of understand the moment. They're also playing the game of trying to put it in like Christian nationalism, so to speak, in a particular box of
Agreed.
You're going to be, a theocrat that, all these other things, off with your head sort of stuff.
Yeah.
I'm like, no, I don't think so. What about George Washington? Can we get back to George Washington? The Cincinnatus of our time? Or of that time?
Of our time, yeah.
Like that sort of example. Like, read the founders. Like, read Patrick, any of these folks. Like, can't we get back to that?
One of the things about Washington that's so just, it's these men were of a different ilk. He could have kept the power. He had everything in his hands, but no, he did not. He made sure that the country was on its right path. And what a great American man.
But I want to end this segment with this, and this is an excerpt from the book of Isaiah, and it's from the daily readings for Mass.
Good.
Would that today you might fast so as to make your voice heard on high? Is this the manner of fasting I wish, of keeping a day of penance, that a man bow his head like a reed and lie in sackcloth and ashes? Do you call this a fast, a day acceptable to the Lord? This, rather, is the fasting that I wish, releasing those bound unjustly, untying the thongs of those of the yoke, setting free the oppressed, breaking every yoke, sharing your bread with the hungry, sheltering the oppressed and the homeless, clothing the naked when you see them, and not turning your back on your own. Then your light shall break forth like the dawn, and your wounds shall quickly be healed. Your vindication shall go before you, and the glory of the Lord shall be your rear guard. Then you shall call, and the Lord will answer. You shall cry for help, and he will say, here I am.
Want to carry News Talk in your pocket? Download the News Talk 93.1 app from the App Store. Available on iPhone and Android. Never miss a moment. Download now.
What's your biggest investment? More than likely, it's your home. So treat it that way when you hire a painting contractor. With PBS Painting, there are no gimmicks, no $99 specials. Just quality painting and someone who treats your home with the same respect that you do. At PBS Painting, we have been painting for years and look forward to many more years to come. With PBS Painting, the job gets prepped properly, whether it's cleaning, scraping, or priming. We always use quality products, which is a must for a quality paint job. So if you're looking for a painter that doesn't need upfront money and is on the job at all times, then please give me a call. Scott Bowers and PBS Painting, 294-5122. That's PBS Painting, 294-5122. Look at some of our work on Facebook at PBS Painting Montgomery.
We get a lot of questions about what all we handle at Hannah and Eddie Realty Group. I'm Hannah Grantham.
And I'm Eddie Bader, and we will handle all of your real estate needs.
We handle all your buying and selling needs, from your first home, next home, land, investment property, and even commercial properties.
We do it all and have the experience that shows you what makes us different.
So when you think real estate, think Hannah and Eddie Realty Group. Look us up on Facebook or give us a call at 334-368-6358. And let us show you who you have on your sign matters.
This is your roving reporter. Today I'm talking with a prospector.
That's right, man. I'm prospecting for gold. You dig?
No, but it looks like you do.
And you know the first thing I'm going to do when I strike it rich?
What's that?
I'm going to hire David Ernest to be my money man.
You mean everyone's favorite asset preservationist?
That is correct, man. I'm going to call him up at 833-596-7233. 833-596-SAFE.
You know, I've heard a lot of the good things
things about David Ernest. You know, he's the best money man around with over 40 years of experience. Experience is necessary, especially when you're digging for gold. That's right, man. And I can see that you don't have very much experience. What do you mean, man? Well, you have the little plastic bucket and shovel like a kid would take to the beach. Yeah, man, well, I want to start out small and then kind of pace myself up until I strike it rich. Well, maybe you should call David Ernest first. You think he's got a shovel? Never know till you ask. I dig, man.
For too long, Alabama's statewide news companies have shamed us for our conservative Christian values. Alabama deserves a news company that cherishes our culture, a company that isn't bought and paid for by the powers that be. 1819 News is that company. Run by Alabamians for Alabamians, 1819 News celebrates what is good and beautiful about our state, while exposing those who work against our values in secret. Just go to 1819news.com to learn more. Subscribe to our newsletter. That's 1819news.com.
When it's time to replace an old window or door, you want expert craftsmanship and proven experience. You want Davis Door & Sash. Right now, take advantage of our limited time promotion. 10% off materials on new energy-efficient doors and windows. Voted best in the River region for windows and installation in 2024 and 25, Davis Door & Sash would love to work for you. Call 334-288-6010 or visit davisdoorandsashalabama.com. Davis Door & Sash, the perfect fit for your home.
The employees of Adams Drugs would like to thank you for trusting us with your health care in 2025. We look forward to serving you and your family in 2026. You will continue to enjoy the same services such as immunizations, compounding, medication therapy management, delivery service, and wellness clinics, to name a few. Looking for that perfect gift for a loved one? Visit our Emily B. gift shop and find everything from Tyler candles to scout bags. Gift wrapping is available. If you have not visited Adams Drugs and experienced the award-winning customer service, we ask you to consider us for your prescription care in 2026. We have 12 convenient locations to serve you in the River region. 8 in Montgomery, 1 in Wetumpka, Prattville, Millbrook, and Pine Level, Marbury. Please find us at adamsdrugs.net for the location that is nearest to you. Adams Drugs is your local, independently owned Health Mart pharmacy. Health Mart, taking the time to listen and care.
This hour of News and Views is brought to you by our good friends at Cole Plumbing, 279-8919. Cole Plumbing is number 1 in the number 2 business. You don't have to dig a hole. They have proprietary pipelining technology. Ask them about their tankless water heaters. Remember, when you have trouble with your bowl, call on Cole.
The Rich Thomas Weather Network, brought to you by Montgomery Paint and Body. From little fender benders to total body repair, MPB will fix it good as new, maybe better. For 4 decades, the Turner family has been getting you back on the road. Call 279-7325.
Rich Thomas Weather.
It's still February, but it feels spring-like, and tonight we could be dodging a shower, maybe even a thunderstorm somewhere here and there. Overnight low temperature down to about 64. Tomorrow, Saturday, a cold front approaching the state. The chance of showers and thunderstorms will be better, higher probability. Some of the storms strong, possibly severe. High 75 to 77 on Saturday. And sharply colder Sunday with a high in the mid-50s, but the winds will make it seem colder. Down to 30 on Sunday night. Monday's high may not make it to 50 degrees and will be in the mid-20s on Monday night. From the Blue Water Weather Center, this is Rich Thomas.
At ASC, we're more than a credit union. We're your neighbors. We live here, grow here, and deeply care about this community. That's why we created ASE Cares, to give back, stay connected, and support the people who make this place home. Because when our community thrives, we all do. ASE Cares, federally insured by NCUA.
Live local talk, the River Region's only 24-hour News Talk FM station. News Talk 93.1 FM WACV.
Joey Clark.
Welcome back. Now, did y'all see Trump signed an executive order, I think yesterday, about upping the production, essentially, of glyphosate, which is a Roundup.
Yeah.
And the Make America Healthy Again movement erupts. And how being, what? You're doing you're turning the frickin' frogs gay?
Agent Orange.
And Bobby Kennedy RFK Jr. is in this position of defending it. So he defended Trump's executive order spurring the domestic production of the weed killer glyphosate as his Make America Healthy Again movement reels from the president's embrace of the chemical they despise. Trump on Wednesday night signed an executive order invoking the Defense Production Act to compel the domestic production of elemental phosphorus and glyphosate-based herbicides. Glyphosate is the chemical in Bayer Monsanto's Roundup and is the most commonly used herbicide for a slew of U.S. crops. Trump, in the order, said shortages of both phosphorus and glyphosate would pose a risk to national security. Kennedy backed the president in a statement to CNBC Thursday morning, saying Donald Trump's executive order puts America first when it matters most, where it matters most, our defense readiness and our food supply. We must safeguard America's national security first because all of our priorities depend on it. When hostile actors control critical inputs, they weaken our security. By expanding domestic production, we close that gap and protect American families. But Kennedy's MAHA coalition that supported Trump in the 2024 election cycle hates glyphosate, which has been alleged to cause cancer in myriad lawsuits. Now, the executive order threatens to unravel that coalition. And it's just another hit.
Yep.
Like the Epstein thing's a hit. Like this tariff thing's a hit.
Yep.
This, and I mean like a hit, not like a top of the charts, but like it's a major blow to the efforts into the coalition. And what a shame. And I'm sorry, like, the president, if he decides to go into a major war with Iran, I mean, and this is why I'm asking, I'm not certain about it. What kind of action do you suspect or expect? Like, because if he gets into a long, drawn-out conflict with Iran right now in 2026, man, the midterms are going to be a bloodbath for the Republicans.
I think that there's a lot of political capital being expended and considered how much they're willing to give up. But I do think this, Joey. I think that based upon the current atmospherics inside of Persia right now, that it would, with two carrier strike groups, it would, in less than 72 hours, you would have basically destroyed most of the IRGC, the MOIS, and their al-Bazani faith police people. They have targets ready, rich everywhere. I'm not even talking about the nuclear weapons. If they want to destabilize the government of Iran, it could be done in less than 72 to 96 hours.
Okay. So it wouldn't be like...
That wouldn't be, we wouldn't put boots on the ground. The people would take over. We already got operatives on the ground in terms of in terms of Mossad and CIA, I'm sure, working.
If those operatives are there, I'd imagine part of some of those operatives' job is to make sure the different ethnic groups that are have different interests that are kind of held at bay by the iron fist of the current government there are ready for that transition.
Well, the first thing you know is Kurdistan's. You're going to want to have a new Kurdistan, right?
Yeah.
And the Turks are not digging that at all. You've lived in Turkey. They don't care for
Big
the Kurds.
fan,
And the thing is, the Kurds are one of the most reliable allies we've had for years in that region. We've always poo-pooed on them
every
at the end of
single
every
time, and they come right back.
It's ridiculous.
But, I'm as much as I kind of like nerding out on this stuff, I think the average American might be hearing even just this conversation be like, well, what is it to me? Everything's still too expensive.
You know what? I think it requires a higher level, and I'm sorry to say this, a higher level of citizen in the Republic to appreciate some of the reshaping. If you take out Iran, 75% of the problems worldwide are cured. I'm telling you.
Now, also, people are saying because, and some of this is a dog not want to give up a boner, or in the case of like a cat not wanting to give up a squirrel till it's down to the tail.
Just eats it.
I love that story.
Eats the whole thing. Skull off.
Beef jerky.
It's good.
But this alien, the extraterrestrial stuff,
they're
like the release of these files, there are a lot of folks going, oh, this is just a distraction from all the other things. And then part of me is like, no, the worry and the joke is like FBI redacts extraterrestrial files, and it's like a picture of this guy with a big black like square in the
There's your girlfriend talking about it right now.
Anna Paulina Luna.
Yeah, you like her. Yeah, she's talking about the release. You said you thought she was cute.
Well, I agree, but she's a married woman who just had a
child.
I
didn't know that. All right, I did not know that. I thought she was
beautiful.
She's very pretty. Yep.
But what is wrong with you? You have now failed the test today. Why don't you suck on one of those things over there?
Say it. I mean, maybe it's just the postpartum look she has. It's not too
You wouldn't kick her out of bed for eating
I think you need to go to Montgomery Men's Health. Like,
Yeah.
I'll take a field trip.
no, wait.
But
Field trip. Wait, you're a slave. You're married. I forgot.
That's
Like,
right. That's right.
And
doing all the callbacks.
Today, when I was talking with Lou about the alien thing, I said, the big joke is everything's a nothing burger. Oh, it's just a nothing burger.
Yeah.
You get it? And Lou said he thinks there's almost almost a screw you kind of attitude by Trump saying, I'm going to bring his stuff out. You know what I'm saying? I just think he's...
That's kind of what we voted for. That's the reason we wanted him in there.
Like, especially just from taking what I've learned from Lou Elizondo, your good friend. Y'all look him up, Luis Elizondo.
He's a great dude.
But beyond even him, my suspicion would be if you have truly highly classified technology, that they have spun this off into a proprietary setting, into a private contractor setting, to where even if like all these officials in the government say release all the files, all the actual good stuff is compartmentalized in the private sector.
Layered and compartmented. That's how it survives. But I think by doing this and acknowledging this from the President of the United States, it adds a certain air now of accountability for things. So
True. I mean, and some of the stuff Lou ran into, it's just crazy, man.
But do you think when they release files, you think honestly we're going to open up file number 2 and go, oh, remember this one? And this is the answer.
Roswell. There's the Roswell aliens.
Every time they release something, we expect the most, and then we just get coded crap.
No, I do love some of the memes where it's just redacted. Like it's a picture of the sky.
Exactly.
Well, Lou, as you know, and he said it in a very, I think, fair and proper tone. He goes, many of us have faced career and death threats. And it's definitely been, it's not an easy ride to be a, quote, whistleblower.
Well, and as much as I like Anna Paulina Luna on a lot of different issues, she is, to me, even though she's pursued this with her and Tim Burchett, and I like both of them a lot, often it just boils down to talking points. Like, you didn't tell me anything I can't
know already.
I could have read 5 years ago.
That's right.
And that's, we're in Congress. We're going to get to the top of this. And it's like every other frickin' thing Congress is going to get to the bottom of.
Kabuki theater.
Frustrating. Now, if they actually come out with something truly spectacular, like things that, even if it's a detailed description of something the government could not explain, which is, again, our conversation with Lou, often the governments will shut up about something until they actually know what it is.
That's right.
Or they can destroy it and control it and beat it in terms of national security reasons.
I think what we might see, and I'm hoping, and he said this today, that the transmedium vehicles that are going through water and coming out of water and doing it, the Navy's already acknowledged it and is dealing with it. We have footage of fighters capturing it. So those are things that have to be addressed, and I think those are probably the low-hanging fruit.
How do you think those get explained, though? I mean, again, the people that are on that level, not to be funny or anything, but they're going to try to break it down to the goats can get it, and I don't know if most goats are going to be able to pick up what they're saying.
Remember what Lou said. He says when you look at a UAP, you look at a couple things, right? You look at its metallurgy or construction.
Right.
Does it represent anything we know as a flying vehicle?
Okay.
Number 2, does it perform within the laws of what we understand? 9
As
Gs,
normal,
10 Gs. No, this thing's turning 120 Gs, right? So, when you're left with that, then you're left with it's not a near peer adversary.
Okay.
It's not of our making, or is it? Then it must be extraterrestrial. It cannot, if it can't be explained. That's what you're left with. The final conclusion. That's what's left. So, I think they have a hard time because these pilots. Especially the FA-18 pilots, they're like, look, this thing was doing things that's not a drone. Even a drone or hypersonic drone doesn't do. Okay, so
wow. Well, hopefully something. We need something that isn't just another.
I agree. We need something. We need a palate cleanser, as you would say, from certain things.
Politically, it's what a rough day for Trump and team. Now he's putting on his best face, especially with this ruling on the tariffs. But it's a rough day.
Somebody wrote on our live comments, and I'm sorry if I forget who it was, but they said, "What about all the businesses that are going to sue the government now for lost monies and stuff?" And I'm like,
big
son
time
of a
opens
gun,
things
you're
up.
right.
Big time opens it up. And to me, it's ridiculous.
That's what they
We
want.
elected this man to do these kind of things, and now, no.
So is that the deep state saying, "Sorry, little man"?
Yeah.
Ghost in the machine, man.
And there is this dynamic that's coming up because I saw some of what Gorsuch was saying.
Yeah.
in terms of like, oh, those disappointed today will learn to respect how the legislative process holds up liberty and down the road on another decision. But I think there are a lot of conservatives, and this goes back now many decades, who go, why is it that the so-called checks and balances all seem to go in the leftward direction?
Yes, good question. Good frickin' question.
Why is it that whenever somebody who is, say, on the right, who's popular, who gets in there, that the bureaucracy and the courts and all these checks, they're able to slow it down, and run out the clock. Whereas when a Democrat president gets in there and they say, do this, the bureaucracy and the courts say, he says,
Wide
jump,
open.
they say,
Yep.
how high?
Yep.
And this idea of not all presidents are equal, certainly not in terms of accomplishments and stuff. No, but what we mean is in power.
Yeah.
When you say the president is in power, is he?
In power of what?
But, this is the way the system works. It's just a very frustrating reality that the system working seems to only head in a particular direction. It's almost like there's a government that isn't accountable to the everyday people. Of course
there is.
And of course, like you talk to like a Brit about this, they're like, yeah, it's just a civil service.
Yep.
That's what I said.
And so I think there's this naivete of Americans because we're so romantic about our democracy or romantic about the republic and the Constitution and we the people here govern. And it's like, sure. But have you seen what our government, how it actually runs?
So
have you tried to get answers about
Right.
JFK and Epstein and aliens and
Good luck.
So, I mean, I think I had that interchange with Tulsi Gabbard's staff about my comment on X, which really got a lot of hits. And it was, I said, look, you guys are talking about change. Nothing's going to change until you go to those civil servants at the GS 15 Step 10, to SCJ. They have kingdoms, fiefdoms, and powers that you couldn't even imagine. And they don't respect authority because they wait you out and you'll be
That's
gone.
right.
And
You'll
it's
be
just
gone.
as simple.
They're in for a lifetime.
Now, shifting gears to another local story trending at 1819 News. I'm just now looking at this.
What is it?
After embezzling more than $400,000. Now, and I'll just say, it's long enough now without getting all the dirty details. My dad was embezzled from by somebody he trusted very much. He was even like a babysitter, like that trusted. And it wasn't $400,000, but when it was a good bit of money, you start like it's not just the money; it's like the trust
The
that
trust
is
is broken.
betrayed.
Yeah.
Is crazy. So I've seen that on a very personal. I remember it as a kid, it rocks a family. It rocks a business, of course. But so after embezzling more than $400,000, a former Huntsville pastor has been sentenced to 60 months in prison. Wow. Adrian Durrell Davis, who's 42, originally pleaded guilty to wire fraud and filing a false tax return in October 2025. Davis was the lead pastor and marketing consultant for All Nations Worship Assembly, where he received a salary and parsonage as compensation for his work. Davis betrayed his congregation. It's one thing, again, like somebody in a small business, it's only a few people who work there. That's one personal betrayal. But to be the head of a church?
It's what did Paul say about it? You're going to be held to a higher standard. There's some answering to do.
Assistant Special Agent in Charge, Kristen A. Yuckness? Yukness.
She got some trouble with
I
that.
apologize, Assistant Special Agent in Charge. Kristen, I'm sorry.
Yuck.
But IRS Criminal Investigation Atlanta Field Office, that's where she works, also weighed in on this arrest and sentence. Adrian Davis stole funds from his parishioners and filed false tax returns to conceal his crime, Yuckness says. IRS Criminal Investigation Special Agents are dedicated to ensuring that individuals who hold positions of trust within the community use their positions to participate in fraudulent financial activities are held accountable. According to the U.S. Attorney's Office for the Northern District of Alabama, from 2018 to 2020, Davis used his position as pastor to embezzle approximately $434,339 from the church.
Wow.
In 2018, Davis used just shy of $31,000 in church funds to purchase an Audi A7.
Well, at least he didn't go get a Rolls Royce. I mean,
it's a nice car, though.
It's a very nice
but
car.
if you pay his salary and you see him right up in that, bells and whistles don't
And
go
also,
off.
it must have been used, an Audi A7 for $31,000.
That was used.
In 2019, Davis used about just shy of $46,000 in church funds to purchase a 2016 GMC Yukon.
Wow.
He also used church funds. Why are you buying used cars? Like,
maybe he thought he was being clever. Attention, right? Yeah.
He also used church funds to make 41 payments totaling $117,000 to satisfy the balance of his personal American Express card. Purchases that Davis made on this card included luxury items totaling $4,970.15 at Louis Vuitton and $5,300 at Flight Club, a shoe store in New York. In 2020, Davis used church funds to pay a balance of $18,000 on a credit card that he used to purchase jewelry. Davis also made additional payments from church funds to his personal American Express card that total $151,000. Items purchased with church funds included a $30,000 purchase from Hublot, a $28,000 purchase from Peter Marco, and a $6,000 purchase from Louis Vuitton. None of the payments or purchases were authorized or approved by the church, obviously. And he also failed to report the embezzled profit on his individual tax returns for 2018, 2019, and 2020, resulting in a tax loss to the IRS of $114,000, though that is the least sad part of the story. It's the only maybe good thing he did. Sorry.
Public flogging. Bring it back. Times like this.
Tar and feather.
Let them sit out there for a while. Let them people come by, throw a little rotten fruit.
So there's a story even worse than that, guys, over in Georgia. Ronnie Davis was a pastor of a church in Augusta, Georgia, at Fort Gordon, and he also had a satellite campus outside in Pembroke Pines, Georgia, which is right outside of Fort Stewart.
Yep.
And $23.5 million of fraud against the VA for GI Bill with their, quote, seminary that they started. He was bringing soldiers in and forcing marriages. It's just bizarre. Come to find out, the cat's not even a legalized citizen. He came here in the 80s, so they don't even know his real name. Listen, it's just broke the news.
Just a true con artist.
Yeah,
just listen. I mean, he had 2 Rolls Royces, a house at Westlake Country Club by the Masters. It's just bizarre, man. Bizarre stuff. Yeah, people like that. There's a special place for them.
Yeah,
God's not going to be happy.
Anyway, I just had to share that story because I saw it trending, and I'm like, oh, my goodness.
No, it happens, unfortunately, like that.
Anyway, let's hit this break. We'll be right back.
He may not know whether he's coming or going, but whether you're going to work or coming home, Greg Budell is there. Mornings, 6 till 9, and afternoons, 3 till 6. Only on News Talk 93.1 FM, WACV.
Don't you love the feeling of coming home to a clean house? Let Southern Bell's cleaning service get your home in order. Families in the River region trust Southern Bell's because they know Callan and Jesse will show up on time and believe in cleaning the old-fashioned way. They bring all their own supplies and specialize in full-service, residential, commercial, vacant properties, and construction cleanup. Estimates are always free. Call Southern Bells today at 546-0715 or follow them on Facebook at Southern Bells Cleaning River Region.
This is Jonathan with Oswalt's Apparel and Footwear in Prattville. With all that's changed in the last decade, I really thought that radio advertising was dead, but I was wrong. We opened our store during the pandemic, and we wouldn't have been near successful without advertising on Blue Water. Practically every day, someone comes in for the first time and tells us they heard about Oswalt's on the radio. I highly recommend advertising with Blue Water.
Our advertisers are our biggest advocates. Call us to find out how radio can increase your bottom line. Blue Water Broadcasting. Local folks helping local business.
Pizza and wings. Nothing goes better with watching basketball than with something to fill up the family from Pizza Perfect. Buy any large pizza and get 10 boneless wings for free. Absolutely free. Pizza Perfect is known for an all-you-can-eat buffet that includes pizza as well as spaghetti, breadsticks, salad, dessert, and drink for only $13. The buffet is available Monday through Saturday for lunch and for dinner on Tuesday, Friday, and Saturday. Pizza and wings from Pizza Perfect in Eastbrook.
This hour of News and Views is brought to you by our good friends at Cole Plumbing, 279-8919. Cole Plumbing is number 1 in the number 2 business. You don't have to dig a hole. They have proprietary pipelining technology. Ask them about their tankless water heaters. Remember, when you have trouble with your bowl, call on Cole.
On FM, on your smartphone, and online, the River Region's most trusted voice. News Talk 93.1 FM, WACV.
Welcome back. Closing moments of the program here.
Ray's playing out in the country. Could not really talk to him much.
Is it turkey hunting season yet?
I don't know, but it sounded like he was out there.
It is. It's coming up.
Because I know he loves turkey hunting, and that story he told about that 8-point. And he did. You weren't here that day. He reported back his sights were off.
Yeah. Oh, I heard him call, but
yeah.
I asked him if this new one was zeroed in. He goes, well, I paid somebody to do it. I love Ray.
He should have over and under sight on the scope.
I know.
Take that away.
Just saying. He's going to be very happy with turkey seasons.
Oh, yeah. It makes him happy.
But let's remind folks about Prattville Carpet. They can, of course, put down new carpet for you.
They can.
But it's really any resurface job. So maybe you want new ceramic tile on the kitchen countertops and the backsplash, or you want to redo the bathroom, or possibly even the garage. The new epoxy flooring they do.
It looks so great. Cool. People's garages are just so tore up. Most of the time it'll be painted originally, and then all you see is the tire marks from people going in and off, where it pulls that epoxy back off. But they've got a product that they can put on the floor. You can make it look like outer space if you want to. It's almost any design you want.
And I really do love the idea if you have like a back patio area that goes into, say, a proper yard, like come up with an epoxy, say, pattern or style that flows almost into the natural backyard.
It's a lot better than artificial turf, I can tell you that.
Or just straight up concrete.
Yeah, just raw concrete.
Right. So you go check out Prattville Carpet today. Really, you just need to call them at 285-8117. They'll come out and do a free in-home measurement. In fact, they'll move furniture for you. They'll do all this other stuff. And once you pick out the product you want to lay down for that resurface job, it'll be done. Just that simple. So again, that number 285-8117, and be sure to tell them that Joey, Eddie, and Troy, those fellas on the radio, sent you. So what did we learn today?
Cross your I's and dot your T's, Joey.
What?
Cross your I's and dot your T's.
Cross your I's and dot your T's. Is that some euphemism for something naughty?
Make sure that when people say things are done, go back and review and make sure they were really done. That's the lesson I learned today.
No, now you're making me think of Wayne's World too. It's like cross those T's, and when they're putting in an application to the guy with the eye patch, and dot those lowercase J's.
Holy moly, moly, moly.
That's funny.
Okay, and Scott Bisa was going on and on about she's a looker, all right.
Yeah.
Her dad escaped China, but then
Tiananmen massacre. He was at Tiananmen. Yeah.
But Scott was going on. You see her two front teeth? How she has like something
She has some
pasted?
it's like dangled things. Bling.
Yeah, and he.
Oh, you get on me about that?
No, and Beeson was going on, and I was like, off air, I want to share this with the audience. Like, Beeson, if you were a younger single man, you wouldn't want to have a little tackle box to love?
That's why you got benefits, dental benefits. You can get a girl like that, or from England, and get her some good teeth.
Yeah. Anyway.
Because he was just trying to help the girl, he said. Because I just want to help her. I want her to be well. And I was like, that's it.
I wouldn't buy it. I was like, I can fix her, Beeson. I can fix her.
Don't vote for that.
Didn't work with the other one. This one I think will take.
Yeah, this will take this time for sure.
We also learned about, of course, the case of Sonny Burton.
Yeah.
Pretty powerful.
And he is on death row. As of yesterday, 3 weeks from yesterday, he will be executed by the state of Alabama. Unless Governor Ivey steps in and uses her power to commute his sentence, not to set him free.
Not to set him
because
free.
Because he admits his guilt in many ways.
But save his life, spare his life.
He will just spend the rest of his life. He's now 75 after engaging in an armed robbery in 1991. Was given the death penalty after being convicted of felony murder. Thing is, he didn't pull the trigger.
Nope.
He didn't even see the shooting happen. And the man who did pull the trigger, his sentence, because of a federal court, was reduced to life without parole. He was taken off the death penalty. So the man who did not pull the trigger...
How can an accessory get more than the person who did it? I mean, that's just a no-brainer to me. And the fact that it took someone to bring this to our attention, you know what the state was going to do. They're not going to admit that, hey, we might need to make some changes.
And you have the daughter, who was 9 at the time, the daughter of the man, Mr. Battle, who was killed, saying, please show mercy. Show mercy to Sonny Burton. You have 3 of the jurors outright saying, please show mercy. You have 3 more essentially saying, we're fine if y'all want to change this because of... I mean, a lot of them said, because the guy who actually pulled the trigger had a reduced sentence. Like, how can you do this to this man?
To me, you have to.
And you're also talking about a guy, who isn't... It's like There would be some concern if he was an unrepentant a-hole, but he's not.
Right.
And in fact, while Sonny Burton was in prison, his wife was murdered. And after years of course, being truly angry and full of anger against the man who killed his wife, when that guy came up for parole, did not fight against it. In fact, forgave. It was, in a way, he had to experience what he had put others through by his actions.
That's right.
And apparently, he's apologized to the family and has been a model prisoner, they claim. And at this point, a 75-year-old man, I think early onset dementia. I just pray and hope Governor Ivey does the right thing. I am not squeamish at this point in my life about the death penalty being served in severe way. And in fact, I think to your point you made earlier in the show, Eddie, it's not quick enough often.
Yep.
But there are certain things, certain crimes that you can commit where your life is forfeit. Your just desserts are, it would be proportionate to put you to death. And it is the righteousness of the state to use, don't use the sword in vain to see that through. But if we believe that, we also need to look at those moments where we go, it doesn't have to be this way in this regard.
You're taking a man's
It has
life.
the highest possible outcomes for all the individuals involved. So
anyway, on that note, I guess we should get out of here.
Yeah,
it was a good week.
Good. Sorry about Monday. I was not feeling good. So
was it a cold or stomach?
Yeah, it was. Well, I went to Dr. Tankersley. He squared me away. I was coughing a lot, and I was like, I wouldn't have been used.
Well, he's got a rule about coughing. Joey does. Can't cough. If you cough, you have to leave the studio.
If you're going to cough, please leave the room.
I'm out of here.
Y'all stay tuned. Happy Hour with Craig Goodell. He's next.
Joey Clark.
Broadcasting from the Riverside Chevrolet Master Control Center, this is WACV Cusana, News Talk 93.1.